I don't know how you can test. Dude, there's too much sound going on.
All right, let's test.
Okay. Test. Can you hear me? Can you hear? Let me actually go to the background here.
Okay, Ryan, audio is good here.
Audio's good there?
Yeah.
Okay. So
let me adjust it here. So we'll do the stream here. Can you share your screen? I just want to see if I can get that up.
Yeah. Share screen, Benzinga Pro. There's so much like music and sound. I can't concentrate.
Here, I can turn it off here.
Thank you. Here. I don't know how to put myself on here. I guess like this.
Yep.
You have to resize that though.
Yeah. Probably like that. We're just gonna have to kind of work with it.
All right, fine, but let's get over there. Let's get out of the two places. Let's cancel the old stream and get us on the new one.
All right. Let me set the redirect and then end it and then let the audience know.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there a link that I can throw in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna leave StreamYard. I'm gonna pee and I'll be right back.
Okay. Christian, come here.
Okay. We back. Where's the chat? How do I see the chat? Chat right here. Here we go. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys out there hear me is the question. Yo, brother, what's up, Mike? Okay, so that's not me. I don't think they can hear me. Say something. I'm giving up on you. Hello, hello. I don't think they can hear me, Aaron. He's alive. He's back. Nice. Woo woo. Okay, LFG. Can you hear me, though? That's the question. Can you hear me? I need some type of feedback that you folks can hear me in the chat. Yes, we hear you. Okay. Well, Uh, that was fun. That was fun, folks. Good morning. If you've ever had problems with your streaming service, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Holy shit. That was crazy. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm glad at least we were able to get this working before the market opened. I know we were supposed to have Christian from T3 here today. Somehow 13 is going to have to figure out how to join this party. I'm not sure how we're going to do that yet. I got the producer working on in the back, working on the ones and twos here, trying to get everything set up. Hey, I'll say this. Everyone that's right here in the chat typing, y'all folks are the real G's. You're the folks that, first of all, your support is awesome. But on top of that, you're also obviously loyal to the stock market and all that. So, okay, glad things are working. I'm just going to kind of run down some of the news here. Again, apologies to Christian from T3. We're going to reschedule him, I think, to get him on. Make sure we got the unless we can get him in here. If we can't get him on today, we're going to try to get him on again this week. I had a whole bunch of questions for him. Oh, he is in studio. Okay. Can we bring him on? How do I bring him on? Sorry, I'm not used to the new. I'm not used to the new. There he is, Christian. Can you hear me?
I sure can. Can you hear me?
I sure can. I can hear you. I can see you. Okay, awesome. So first of all, I apologize for all of the technical issues. Thankfully, it does not look like it was specific to Benzinga here. So great, we were able to get you on here. I am still gonna extend an invitation for you on Thursday morning. If you'd like, please come on back. But however, for today, I do have a couple of questions here real quick. Now, I do want to go ahead and I know we don't have the, oh, we do. We have the banner and the QR code. Look at our producers getting it done. Okay, real quick. Christian Tharp, T3 live contributor and a CMT. Be sure to sign up now to get to trade alongside Christian for free this week. I went ahead and put that link in the chat. There's also the QR code there on the screen. So, Christian, let's just go ahead and get started here. The last time that I had you on was my first time doing this, and the very next guest was Scott, and I asked him a question that I've kind of turned into a series here. I asked him about his morning routine, and I thought I was going to get something like, oh yeah, we'll check the news, we check the charts, we check the different setups, and he launched into an entire thing about a cold plunge and running and all of that, and I know that everyone's morning prep is different. Our viewers here thought this was an extremely valuable thing. So I want to hear from you. What does your entire morning routine look like? How do you prepare for a market day?
It's probably not going to be the same. But I think it's a great question, because I think when you talk about trading, at least successfully, right? It's all about emotion. It's all about psychology. It's all about mindset, right? I think anybody that's been in the market any extended length of time can identify a candlestick pattern, right? I mean, I think we can all identify, new 52 highs. So I think when it comes down to your success, everybody's going to be a little different. Mine. So I conduct a total, speaking of the trading this week, prime time, I'm on that call 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 different times in the week. Total throughout the week, I'm on the call 17 different webinars. So for me, it's like I'm constantly plugged into the market, and there isn't a whole lot of market prep for me. So before Monday ever comes, I already know what I was thinking from Friday. I already know, right? I always kind of look at it, explain it like you're driving down the road. You kind of know where you've been, and that helps you know where you're going, right? Because I know I just passed the CVS. I know I just passed that McDonald's. That's where I get coffee. I know right in front of me is such and such. I know I can turn right up here. I know I can turn left. And it's kind of like how you look at the market for me. So for me in the morning, it's really, I take about, I guess, an hour or so. I have a wonderful little 8-year-old, a little 12-year-old, my 2 little girls. And right before the market opens, before I get to work, which is generally right around the 8:30, 9 o'clock slot, I completely disconnect, and I help one of them fill their water bottle. I help the other one get her backpack filled. I walk one to the elementary, and it's a part of my routine where for that moment in time, it's almost like that fresh eyes, that reboot type thing. And you come back to it ready to kind of go a little bit where, again, for that little bit, for me, having being market all the time, all week, that's that kind of reboot, that reset, and that start over for me. So that's, and I hold to it. So I completely away from the market. And then once it's go time, it's go time.
Okay, that's awesome. And you know what? I'm glad to hear that, because that actually seems very similar to me. Like, go time is go time, right? Go time might be 4:45 or 5 o'clock in the morning, but go time is go time. So, all right, really awesome answer there. And I know a family must throw a huge kink in that, trying to get everyone ready for the beginning of the day there. Okay, really good stuff there. The second question I have here is more about an edge, right? So first of all, I'd like you to explain what your edge is when it comes to picking new trades and then actually executing those trades. What is your edge? And then if you can go into a little bit of depth about how you actually exploit that edge.
You bet. Okay, I'll try to do this in the short and skinny. So, speaking of prime time, that is where we employ the strategy that you're asking about and what that edge happens to be. The best way I always kind of describe it is I describe my approach to the market and what I might do differently in the form of a chess match. All right. I refer to it as there are several pieces on the board. And obviously, us winning the week, that's our opponent. The market is our opponent, so to speak. And when we came in on Tuesday, so anybody that wants to come in and trade for free this week, we're going to come in Tuesday. The market will have made its move. Our stocks would have made their move, right? So those pieces have been, now it's our turn. So I make a move. Then we come in tomorrow morning, market makes a move, right? And so we're going to adjust as we go. What we're trying to accomplish, what I try to use to our advantage is, one, a shortened week so that options premium are lower. Because they're lower, we stick with volatile stocks that if my view was, for example, last week when Tesla took out 360, our view was Tesla was going to make a run at 400. Okay. So based on what we saw on the chart, what we want to do is we want to use that high volatility combined with shortened week, lower premiums, because we're not going out 2, 3, 4 weeks, and it creates a greater risk reward. So for example, if I tried to put on, buy those 400 calls last week on Tesla on Wednesday or Thursday, it might only cost me $1 or $2. But if we get there, thanks to that volatility, right, then we might be able to turn that into a 4, 5, 600% type gain. Versus if I try to do that for next week or the following week. So we use this shortened time frame that gives us lower premiums for stocks that are going to make that move in. So Tesla doesn't need a month to make that move, right? It just hit it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The Broadcoms that we trade, the NVIDIAs that we trade, all these stocks that we really get into, we use that. And then we play this chess match of somewhat catching the market. So if I buy calls on Tesla, and we bought puts too, is, for example, to give you an example of what I mean, last week, we strangled this. So when Tesla dropped, well, that was the market's move. We brought our calls down. So now we made it harder for you to take money from us if you try to rally against those puts. If you want to keep dropping, that's fine. We got these puts here, and that's how we'll win. You go back up, we'll sandwich you with those puts, and we're going to make it harder and harder. And we use the stock and the market's volatility with low premiums. We combine that in a way to kind of give us an edge where we increase the odds of us winning, not necessarily because we're right or wrong on direction, right? But because we're playing this match with the market, it's like a tit for tat. So we're not. So decision I make on Tuesday, we're flexible, and I can pivot Wednesday morning. I can work that and change it Thursday afternoon. So we try to win at the end of the week.
Okay.
So, short as I can do it.
No. That's really great. And I mean, like, I'm trying to compare that to something like sports. It almost seems like you're playing defense, right? It almost seems like you're playing defense most of the time. You're kind of waiting for the market to make its move. You're going to be positioned accordingly. And then when that move comes, that's either when you increase your bet or you stick with the winner, like you were just talking about, strangling it there. You're kind of just waiting for the market to tell you what it's going to do, and you're trying to be as prepared as possible to take advantage of that. That's what it sounds like. Okay.
Exactly. Sometimes we just like long, and we're going to buy some calls on X. Other times we might buy 3 calls, but we're going to protect ourselves with a put because, hey, FOMC's tomorrow or a GDP or something like that. And then if everything goes our way, cool, we take our profits. But otherwise, yes, we're sitting there ready to play defense, as you put, as a perfect analogy. Or again, maybe we're playing our opponent in chess and whoops, they just took our rook. So never mind, we're going to move over here. We're going to be adaptable. And we're going to think several moves ahead. What do we have to do to win the week? And I can't stress enough, the low option premium combined with the volatile stocks is what helps us pull this off, right?
Okay.
So because we're taking bigger shots of like, 3, 4, we don't ever put a trade on that we don't think there's a 300 to 500% potential gain, right? So because we do that, that's what allowed, we couldn't pull this off if we were going out 3 months. But yeah, I think that's a perfect analogy.
Okay. Okay. Really awesome. My next question here, I'm actually going to change it around a little bit based on what you were just saying there. My next question here was, what are the biggest hurdles for newer traders? But given what you just said there about how you're preparing and how you're getting yourself set up, what are some of the biggest hurdles that you look for to make sure that, hey, I am actually executing this correctly, or I have an understanding of what's going on? What are some of the hurdles that you try to avoid or get over?
Sure. I'd say whenever I conduct a webinar, because I have a mentoring program as well, whenever I conduct that webinar, I always try to explain to everybody the same thing I do in prime time and anywhere else is that, I don't mean it to sound as negative as it sounds, but as a retail trading public, we're somewhat duped into what it takes to make money in the market.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what we are led to believe that it's about software programs, trading platforms, indicators, and I encourage all my students to take a step back for a second and just remember that no indicator other than price made anybody any money ever. Okay. The indicators are not what's doing it. I don't care if it's your VWAP, your moving average, all that kind of stuff. And we are duped into thinking that. So we spend all this time trying to get this right little 3 or 5 or 7 indicator combo, or really deep diving into the Bollinger Bands or the Fibonacci. Meanwhile, we're not doing things that actually matter. Risk management. Do you have a good risk reward setup? And even if you did, are you letting the reward happen? Are you cutting the risk where you said? These are the position size. Nobody ever blew up a trading account because they used the 8-day instead of the 20-day moving average, right? You blow up your trading account.
That's right.
So these are the things that matter. So for newer traders, or I've coached students that are 3 decades in, and it's somewhat of an aha moment when they realize, I said, look, just to be clear, that fill in the blank, right? That your candlesticks price is what worked for you. So don't ever forget. But before these trading platforms, before investors and traders were doing just fine with price only, and they didn't need a trading platform to do it, right? Even to this day, people are using point and figure, Renko charts, and good old fashioned price. So get back to the basics. I call it the indicator fallacy. Don't fall prey to this fallacy that somehow I've used these 17 indicators and they don't work. I just need somebody to tell me that 18th one that's going to work, right? So that's and I don't want to make it sound like that people that talk about the indicator package that they might use are lying. It's just, notice how there are a million different ways from Sunday to trade the market. So in other words, it can't possibly be because of the 10-day moving average, because that guy's doing it with VWAP and that guy's doing it with bands and that guy's doing it with LA Wave. So what is their common denominator? Risk management, good risk reward setups, discipline, emotion. Don't blow up your trading account. Wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I am always preaching risk management ahead of everything. And I've also said a number of times, such and such is the most important indicator other than price, because I like the way that you put it. You get paid on price. You don't get paid on any other indicator, not even volume. You get paid on price. So really, really good stuff there. Okay. Do you have any specific stocks that are kind of got you looking at them here today? Anything exciting? Any setups that you're looking at for today, Tuesday, December 12th? Or excuse me, December 10th?
Absolutely. We've had our eyes again. And this is what's great about once you kind of get tuned into the market. So last Thursday and Friday, we knew what we were watching this week. When Tesla took out 360, okay, that thing took off. Now we're saying, please come back to 360. That's where we'd expect to find support, that old little resistance, love to get in. Apple may have left the station, but when Apple took out 237 last week, keep going. So that may not come back. But look at Meta. Meta finally took out 600. That little pullback yesterday, right? That's kind of a good thing. So we can get these things to come back to these levels. So Tesla back near 360. If we get Meta back near 600 again, I don't think Apple's coming anytime soon because that really took off yesterday. But these are the ones we were watching. And then setup-wise, we were watching Broadcom. Broadcom looks like it could be the next one, right? Pretty clear resistance up top there around 185.
Yep, absolutely.
Right? So what I've been telling my students, look, these guys have already broken out. I think we kind of missed the boat here for this week unless we can get a pullback. Sure enough, on Q, market started to pull back. But let's keep our eye on Broadcom because that could be the next guy to break out. And then, as I mentioned, in prime time, a big thing for us is volatility. So a lot of times we don't even care about direction. We want movement. So something like a Lulu, that moves,
Yep.
right, is great for us. I think flying around. Now, we will pick direction. Don't get me wrong, but we tend to hedge ourselves a lot because these volatile stocks just as easily. Look at Lulu on Friday versus now yesterday. Looks like it's going to the moon. Nice little reversal candle.
Yep.
And we jumped in and thought we're going to ride this wave higher. Notice how that hedge sure looks like it might come into play now after that one, right? So we love Lulu right now. MDB had earnings, I believe, yesterday.
Sure did.
That's a volatile name that we look at. We kind of come back to these wells. All right, look, what are the ones we can just play on their volatility? That we can play that chess match that I mentioned. You want to rally towards our calls? Great. Now we're going to bring our puts up as somewhat of a stop. You want to come back down? Haha, we got our puts. We'll bring our calls down and sandwich you and force you into that winner. So it's stocks like those that we really like, where we don't go as directional as much as we want your volatility and your movement.
Okay. That's really, really great stuff there, Christian. I really appreciate it. And again, I want to thank you so much for, first of all, being patient with us today, but then also giving us loads of great information. Folks, sign up now to trade alongside Christian for free this week. I'll go ahead and throw the link in the chat, but it's also that QR code. Also, big shout out to our producers for getting all of that stuff ready for us. Christian, appreciate you. The door is always open. Can't wait to speak to you next time. All right. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.
Thanks, man. Have a great week.
Yep. No problem. All right, folks. That is Christian Tharp from T3 Trading. We love the T3 guys. They are absolutely awesome. They've been doing this for a long time. I really hope that you find some of these different strategies and the different ways that they approach the market. I hope that you find that helpful in your own trading there. We'll definitely talk about some of these stocks. I know we didn't really get a chance earlier, but we'll be able to do that now. All right. Christian leaves room for 13. Let's see if we can bring him on. Let's see if this works. 13, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. We made it.
Oh,
it worked.
Let me tell you something. We have had we've had some wild stuff happen here in the morning with these streams. Man, oh man. The chat, they were on this earlier. They were saying, hey, we should be shorting StreamYard. Now, I don't think we can do that, but man, oh man, it was crazy. Glad you were able to find your way in here. And here's the good news. Other than the interview that we just did with Christian, I haven't done anything yet here today. I had a Word doc open and I was trying to communicate with people. So we have a full slate here to cover. Is there anything that you want to start with?
Well, since we're a little bit behind, it seems, let's see if we can catch up. The things that I have on my list here, we can start with CMRX. That was the first one I saw that was up today.
So you want to start with the movers then instead of some of these bigger stocks. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that because, we got about half an hour. There are quite a bit of movers. I have 4 that I at least like to talk about. And then we're also getting into a conversation with chat. So, let's get these movers out of the way and we'll take some tickers. How about that?
Okay, perfect. And you know what I'll do is I actually have a list here of several tickers that had news. So I'll just start off with that and we'll go from there. Mongo Database, one that Christian just gave you some insight in, is one of those. So, okay, let's start here. CMRX. This looks like this stock popped yesterday in the after hour. 250 really jumps off the page here in terms of an upside resistance area. Honestly, it's done a pretty good job here so far. I know we lost 2 earlier, but it looks like we were able to reclaim that and get right back to balance here. What do we got here on news? Turmeric soars on seeking accelerated approval for its glioma treatment. This was yesterday. Submit one of its drugs here for accelerated approval, for one of its. Okay, so here we go. FDA accelerated approval news. What do you think here? CMRX.
Yeah, so that's the big the reason why it's moving here today. Daviprone is the drug that's getting the accelerated approval from the FDA, but they are also getting a buy rating from TD Cowen. So there's a couple of things that happened here with this. But the submission for accelerated approval, that I think kind of creates a little bit of a future catalyst. So we have this is a submission and they're going to get that approval most likely. And so that'll be the next news event that happens. That could be where we see some trading. The thing about this one is it does have 85 million shares in the float, and it looks like it has about a year, maybe 5 quarters worth of cash. So I don't necessarily think that they're going to need to do a money raise at the moment. I saw that they had almost no short interest. That we should even take a look at. They had no recent reverse splits. So basically, that's what it's moving on here. Now, we did see that in the after hours when we got this news, it ran up to 264 and came back in. And then in the pre-market, we ran right up to that same area, got a little bit higher at 266. So as long as we hold VWAP, that's going to be the level that we're going to want to see get taken out, is that 266, 265 area. That'll be the breakout level. We're above VWAP right now, kind of in this sideways consolidation from the after hours yesterday after the news broke. So we just need to move out of that, and we should see some a lot better trading here. But with just one more reminder, 85 million shares in the float. A little bit harder to move this this big boy. So might not get too much of a push up, but maybe the buyers will step in and help out. But that's just something to keep in mind. The float is a little large.
Yeah, really good stuff there. And you know, one of the things that I've noticed here, especially with some of these smaller names that we tend to trade on a regular basis, when you have a float that is big like that, you're probably not going to get these giant outsized moves. So while I don't think that should necessarily change your position sizing, that should be based on your entire risk, how much or your risk profile. When you want to sell, right? If for example, if I'm looking at this stock here at 235 and I think to myself, well, gosh, 250 and this 260, what did you call this? 265 level? Yeah. Let's say this 250 and this 265 level look pretty good. Well, if I take a long right here with maybe a stop at VWAP, and I'm thinking that I'm looking for a 250 break and then maybe even a 265 break there, to me, when this starts to move up, I'm going to be okay taking some of my gains off. I know it's not a whole lot here, but I don't know that the stock necessarily has the juice to really go to 3 or 4 like some of these other low float stocks. So I kind of when you talk about the float, I'm glad that we cover this more often, because a lot of these lower float stocks really get wild. When you have some of these bigger float stocks, it's not a bad thing to necessarily take gains, or at least partial gains on some of that move. You want to hold a trailer piece in case the stock goes absolutely buck wild, be my guest. But the higher the float, the more likely I am to sell into any kind of pop like that. So really good stuff there. CMRX. Okay, next one I have here on the list is CPIX.
Yep.
That's the same one that you have. Okay, this is Cumberland. I'm actually not familiar with what this company even does. Cumberland Pharmaceuticals is a specialty pharmaceutical company focused on the acquisition, development, and commercialization of branded prescription pharmaceutical products. Okay, that's a mouthful here. Looks like it had some news after hour regarding FDA approval. So what do you got on this one?
Well, last week on Thursday, we started getting a bunch of insider buying with this. So several of the folks, including the CEO, started picking up more of the shares. Yes, the FDA approval is why this is moving. So just like I said for that last one, we can anticipate some kind of move like this because they're trying to get accelerated approval. But anyway, back to this one. This company has 7.8 million shares in the float. They have cash and they're almost profitable. And they also have revenue. So this actually looks like a real company. This is a pretty good looking company here. They just need to just get over that threshold or return to profitability. It looks like back a number of years ago they had some profitability, but basically that's what this is moving on, is just the FDA approval for their SNDA for their acid to drug product. I don't think I pronounced that correctly, but that's what they're getting.
Sounded good to me, honestly. I'm not going to criticize anybody for pronouncing one of those things wrong.
And this was in the after hours yesterday, so we're getting some of this carry through in the morning. Now we are higher than we were yesterday, so we've kind of taken a staircase up, and I think that makes me a little bit concerned about what we're going to get out of the open. I'm thinking we might get some support from VWAP as we go into the open here, but seeing how we've staircased up here, and it looks like we're getting a little bit more tired trying to go higher. And the MACD is currently telling us that there may be, the selling that we're seeing after hitting 325 in the pre-market might be coming to an end. So what I'm going to be watching for with this one is if as we get closer to the pre-market, if that VWAP holds up, that would be a really good sign going into the open, because we could get some buyers to step in if the timing is right there. So that's what I have for CPIX. Didn't see any real big major short interest of note, and no recent reverse splits in this one either.
Okay, yeah, the big takeaway here, we just spent a lot of time talking about the float here. This one in that butter zone that we really like, 7.8 million shares. So maybe we get some more movement here. Ticker CPIX. Okay, really good stuff. Next one here is going to be ticker QURE. This is Unicure. This is actually not one of those $1 or $2 stocks, a little bit more expensive. This one is kind of exciting here. Unicure shares are trading higher after the company announced an agreement with the FDA on key elements of an accelerated pathway for AMT 130. Boy, the FDA busy. We have a lot of FDA related catalysts here today.
Yep.
It seems this stock here popped from about 730. This is up 91%, was actually up over 100% earlier here. Float in that 48 million. So a little bit thicker than we like here, but 13, what are you thinking on this one?
Well, yeah, so they secured an FDA agreement for a pathway to approval. So there's another future catalyst with this company coming up. 48.25 million shares in the float. Thicker than we'd like, but still not so heavy that it's going to just do nothing but leak all day. It's just a little bit on the heavier side. The company does have cash, and they do have some revenue. But as a matter of fact, they have pretty close to almost half a billion in cash and short-term investments that they could tap into. So not really concerned about their cash position here with this one. But they did have a tiny bit of short interest. I don't really think it's going to be considered one of our short squeeze candidates. But 6.5% of the float shorted, 3.6 days to cover. That's about all I really have here with this one. As far as the chart goes, right now we are currently getting a test of VWAP. So this is a little concerning. We do not want to see a loss of VWAP going into the open. It might be a little bit difficult for this to recapture that. So if we get a bounce here on VWAP and hold above it into the open, I think that would be a much better setup for trading opportunities in QURE.
Okay, one thing to just kind of keep in mind here, just in case we do lose that VWAP. Right now, it looks like we're bouncing from it so far. We'll see if this continues. That's good to see here. But the one other thing to keep in mind is when we lost VWAP earlier today, when we recaptured it, it was accompanied by several large volume sticks. We saw a couple of stocks yesterday that were really kind of holding out at their VWAP, either as a support or resistance, and they never really pushed, some of them never really pushed away from that. It's really going to be the volume. So this right here that you're seeing the last time this thing really pushed away from the VWAP, this again is what we want to see, especially if we lose the VWAP here, either in the regular session or here in the pre-market. Okay, really good stuff there, QURE. Next one I have here is BNZI. This is, of course, we like to call this bonsai. Call this an ex-girlfriend, call this whatever you want here. We've traded this one before. We know how this one moves. Bonsai shares are trading higher after the company announced a definitive agreement to acquire Open Real. Beg your pardon. So Bonsai here, volume looks actually pretty good. We've had multiple moves up here. Stock was $1.38 yesterday, up 75% here. Backed off the highs a little bit, but what do you got here in this one? What are you thinking here, BNZI?
Well, I didn't cover this one this morning, but from the looks of it here, the acquisition that it's trying to of the company that's trying to pick up, the market likes. I haven't really looked into this, so I couldn't tell you how good of a deal this is, but apparently that's why it's moving here. Now the float is really small here, so that's another reason why we're seeing this movement, and it looks like we're trying to put in some kind of a bull flag or pennant here. So we'll have to wait and see if that shapes up. But 3.17 million shares in the float, I can see. As far as the financials go, and I got a question about how the financials affect trading. I'll answer that in just a minute there, Joey. It looks like they have a little more than 4 million of cash in the bank, no short-term investments they can divest in to raise money. So it looks like this company is going to need to do a cash raise at some point because they're losing, $15 million a quarter. That's what they were losing last quarter. Prior to that, it was around 4.5 to 6 million. So that's one thing to keep in mind because this company is going to need to make an offering or raise capital at some point. And because of how small their float structure is, that to me that would mean that there's plenty of room for them to make an offering of common stock and to raise capital. So Joey, the reason why this affects my trading is because if this is a company that is going to be looking to make an offering or needs to raise capital, I think the risk is elevated there in terms of how long I'm going to be in this stock, or if I'm going to even trade it at all. If a company like this is going to be needing to raise money, they can do that intraday. One of the things you'd want to look at is
we've actually seen that a few times this year alone.
Yeah, so we're going to try and trade some of the movement, but after that, I don't think I would want to be messing around with this too long, especially if the company looks like they're going to need some cash. Now, another thing you can do is you can look and see if they've recently filed to do any offerings, shelf offerings or otherwise, but. That's going to be something that makes me, want to be in this for just a quick in and out, and then maybe not really mess with it that much at all afterwards, especially if there's that risk of them halting the stock and needing to raise money through an offering.
Really good question there, Joey, and great explanation as always. 13, really appreciate that stuff here. Okay, did you want to cover any other movers? I know you said you didn't cover that one. CRDF, this is another one. Okay, so we'll do this one then, and then we'll roll through some of the bigger stocks here.
Yeah, so CRDF, this one reported they had some phase 2 data. It's not the complete phase 2 that they're reporting on here, just initial phase 2 data on the efficacy of their drug. Let me pull it up because I don't think I wrote down the name of the drug that's in question here. Okay, so there was that.
Ovensertib.
Yeah, that's right. Ovensertib.
I tried, man. I'm trying to help you out here.
Now, so there's that, but also the stock is also rising on a registered direct offering at $2.6 a share. $2.60 a share. That gives them $40 million in the bank. So this is good news because they got that event out of the way. So they got their capital raise. But in addition to that, one thing about the shares. So they did have just under 50 million shares prior to that. So after this capital raise, they should have over 65 million shares in the float. So the float's now thicker as a result. And then they also have 15.47% of the float shorted with 5.7 days to cover. So I think we're also getting a bit of a squeeze here as well. So several different good things happening here. They got this capital raise out of the way. They have some phase 2 data that's helped lifting the stock, and they're also squeezing. So we could see some more upside out of this. If they pull this up on a chart here, CRDF. It looks like, okay, so I drew a bit of a trend line here. I'm sure you can draw one yourself if you just take the peak that we got back in the after hours yesterday, which was like a 479, draw it through the peak that we got today in the morning around 8, which should be.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I was reading something.
Just draw a trend line that we're going to break here. There, just from the peak, the highs yesterday. There we go. So that's going to be the breakout, the break of the trend there. I'm going to be looking for that. We're currently above VWAP, trying to hold it. So as soon as we start to get an acceleration to the upside, I'll be looking for a break there. Could initially get some resistance before we go through that, but that's the trend line to break, and that's what I'll be watching for today with CRDF.
Okay. Really good stuff here. Thinking about it, I answered with a text earlier. Maybe you missed it. How did you fix the sound? Your brothers at Story Trading are having the same issue. As much as I want to take credit for this and say, guys, I fixed it. I did it. It was not me. It was actually our crack producers in the back. What we did thinking about it is we got rid of StreamYard. We're basically doing the stream here minus StreamYard, and everything seems to be working. So not a YouTube problem, clearly a StreamYard problem. See if Story Trading can get that. I don't know. They don't have producers as good as ours in the back, literally just whipping things up in order to try and fix it. But there you go. See if that helps. Okay, 13. I'm going to run through. We can always come back to this. Let's look. We got 13 minutes. I want to run through a couple of the bigger stocks that had news yesterday. I definitely want you to jump in here, but because we're pressed for time, I'm going to move a little bit quickly. Go ahead. Just keep that in mind. Okay. First ticker that we want to talk about here is going to be Micron. This is ticker MU. And actually, while we were dealing with the sound issue earlier, I was trying to set up a potential long trade based on today's news and where we find ourselves on the chart here. We can cover that in a little bit if you want. U.S. finalizes more than $6.1 billion in chip subsidy for Micron technology. So that's basically what's going on here. You could see that stock is actually responding to this, up 2.75% here in the pre-market. The good news here, yesterday we basically ran into the 50-day moving average. We really couldn't break it. We did trade above it, but we really couldn't close above it. Today we're gapping above that level. So the way I would set this trade up is very, very simple. I basically be looking at a stop very little under, that's not English. I'd be looking for a stop slightly under the 50-day moving average value. I have that value at 103.80. And then I'd be looking for a move up towards that 200-day. Maybe we might even be able to sell this in tranches in case we go above the 200-day. But this news looks pretty good. Chart looks pretty good. We do have some kind of higher lows here on some of these pullbacks, although this last one here looked like it was pretty even at about 96.75. So I like Micron to the upside here. RSI, really nothing to worry about. MACD histogram has recently gone green, so hopefully we have a little bit more movement there. Do you have anything on Micron? I know that this is a stock that you've traded or covered in the past. Do you have anything on? Does this news excite you?
Well, I don't want to say that I expected this, but I think being that Micron is like one of the memory darlings, like in the semiconductor
US-based memory darling.
Yes, exactly. So this news isn't surprising. But at the same time, I wish I'd maybe taken advantage of trade. So here's a couple of levels that stand out to me: 110 and 115, two big levels that stand out. And you have the 200-day SMA, like you said earlier, that's right, just slightly above 110. But it also looks like a technical level. You can see that it was a level of resistance back in August, and then we started breaking above it multiple times throughout October and November. But every time we broke out, we came back in. Now, those breakouts, 3 times we did that created a triple top, and that's because it could never get up to 115 and take out that level. So triple top led it to the downside. That's where we're at now. We've now also put in looks like a bit of a double bottom beneath the 50-day SMA. Now we're recapturing. So 2 levels that really stand out to me: that 200-day SMA, which is right around that 110 level, and 115, where we need to break out and close over in order for this to go higher. That would be the highest that the stock price could have gone since July if we get over 115.
Okay, really good stuff here. Here is your 115. I'm eyeballing it in there, but really good stuff. Okay, that's Micron. Next ticker here is going to be ticker PL. This is Planet Labs.
Oh, wow.
Planet Labs stock drops after Q3 results. Here's a chart. We basically pulling right back to this 20-day moving average. This is clearly a level that we had, clearly a support level going back to November, not that far back. This is really not surprising. In fact, I think 13 that you talked about this stock last week being extended, and to be careful, especially giving the reversal candle that we got that tested 5 here. Now it seems like we're on the backside of that move here. We're gapping down to the 20. What do you see here on Planet Labs? Obviously, the catalyst here is basically just their earnings.
Yeah, the earnings. The revenue was great. So, but like you were just saying, I think it was just extended. This should be some, profit taking here, and that's fine. Let this, just do its thing, because I still think space stocks are going to be a great theme next year. So a lot of them have run, so they're extended. They need to cool off. Let them do that. Now as far as the technicals go, when you were pointing out the 20-day SMA, because that's about where we're at right now, right? It's a 20-day SMA. So. Yep. To me, it looks like it could end up losing that, especially since we're still a little extended on the RSI. Now we have come down off 70, so that's much better. But I still don't like it up here in the high 60s. The MACD is also indicating that there might be some continued downside, especially if we get that crossing. So I think maybe you have a better shot at finding some more support, still within the $3 handle, but maybe closer down to about 325, 330. Okay. That looks like a better spot to see if we get some bottoming action. I don't want to say start going long there. I want to see if we start bottoming around 325. So that would be something I'd be watching for, is where we're going to start bottoming. Now, I do think that the 550, both of those moving averages, the simple moving averages, the 500-day SMA and the 50-day SMA, they're both about to be in the same area. I think if the price comes down to that level, that could provide some pretty robust support. So that's what I'll be watching for.
Yep. Okay. Really good stuff. Drew Drew, this is a little bit creepy. It's almost like you have insight into my note sheet, or that you're somehow reading my mind about what's next. In fact, AI is next. That's ticker AI. Company is C3 AI. What's going on here? Stock rallies after the Q2 results. 7th consecutive quarter of accelerating revenue growth. One of the things that we had taken a look at here recently was this channel that we spent a long time in. Now we seem to be breaking out of it. Stock down 9.86% here on the backs of those earnings. So this is what's going on with C3 AI here. Again, top and bottom line beat, trading down here today. We did have a slew of price target re-ratings here. 13, what do you got on this one?
Well, I see that we've been kind of oscillating here with golden death crosses for the past, seems like the past year. He had a death cross in October of 23, and that stayed that way until July of this year. We had a golden cross, but then the very next month we had another death cross. So when we oscillate like that, I tend to put a little less weight into these crossings until we get more of a robust one. We might have got that with the November crossing. So if the price doesn't come in and fall beneath the 50-day SMA, this thing's likely going to continue to move up. That's what I would be looking for here. I think if it does come in, though, I don't know the 20 is going to necessarily provide the best support. It seems like 32 looks like a better support area if we do get that downside. So I don't know what the price action is going to be like today with this one. It seems like out of the gate here, we're already trading down, but there might be some buyers that step in if we pick this up if we get that kind of volume today. That'll be something worth watching for. But I would want to see this hold at least above 32 for further upside.
Yeah, and I would say 36 to 35 might also induce some type of bounce. That does look like a support area. How strong is it? I'm not too sure. I like the lower 30 support area that you gave 13. So
now I'm one thing I'm wondering is, okay, so now that we have this company's earnings out of the way and they're the ones that have the name AI, do we see start to see some of these other tickers that have AI in the name do a little sell off and do a little bit not be as good as they have been since this is past their earnings? I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. That might not be the case. It might just be the overall theme of AI that it's still strong. But the AI with the stocks with AI in the ticker, let's see if we if we get a little bit of weakening there as a result of these earnings being passed.
Okay. Really good stuff. Jay Wild, appreciate you right now. I know we are a little bit pressed for time here. We're going to be checking out Rigetti and Qubit as soon as we move over to the main workspace. Appreciate you updating the chat here. I actually just have 2 more to do here. We'll do it real quick. Another name here is going to be Oracle. This one fairly interesting. I hope that I can't remember if we actually were able to make a trade here with Anne-Marie last time that we talked to her. Maybe the option chains were not conducive to that. Oracle here, though, down 7.6%. This is the thing to watch here is where do we end up or where do we close with respect to this 50-day moving average. So far, we've gapped beneath it. And we actually might have another gap to fill down here to 172. Looks like it did that yesterday. Yep, did that yesterday in the after hours. Let's see if we roll back over here today. Oracle, though, revenue miss, EPS miss. There was AI growth. Ellison says, quote, opportunity is unimaginable. But this is something, kudos to you, 13. This is something that you covered yesterday. This EPS miss is the first since Q1 of 2022, and that might raise margin concerns. What do you think here on Oracle?
I think that's the big thing that stood out was that we had an EPS miss. That was the first since more than 2 years ago. But also when there were some comments, I think that was in the conference call about how CapEx is expected to double in fiscal year 2025 over the fiscal year of 2024. So their costs are increasing, and I think that even fuels the concern for compressing margins even more. So that's where I'm at with Oracle right now. I need to see something more positive that they're going to be able to have a more positive EPS going forward into 2025. But with CapEx expected to double, I just don't know that that's going to be the case. So if we start to get some downside, I'd be looking at that 200-day SMA for support. Okay. So that should be around, let's call it like somewhere between 145 and 150. We might see some support. There is a gap to fill there, by the way. Yeah, so there's a gap to fill there on the way down to that as well. So That gap's going to start at 153.12, and it's going to fill at 143.30.
Okay, really good stuff there. We'll see if we get that gap. Basically, what I did here, I basically just did Anne Marie's strategy of using little boxes to outline ranges, duplicating that box and figuring out where we go next. This lined up nicely with the 100-day. We'll see if Oracle continues a down move and will it be viable. Really quickly, before we move over, I know we're really close to the open here, but I have to shout this out. Anytime somebody modifies a Star Wars quote in order to fit their exact situation, I am impressed, Fairchild. Bonus points here for you today. Unfortunately, you can't do anything yet with these bonus points, but just know that you have some more, quoting Han Solo from A New Hope here, and then trying to make that fit or what we're doing here. Well done. All right, let's flip over to the main workspace. Enough of me nerding out on Star Wars. Let's take a look at some of these other smaller stocks that were moving, courtesy of Jay Wild. You had mentioned it was Rigetti, which has been on our list, I feel like, every day recently. This has really kind of been moving. Rigetti, it looks like we were selling off earlier here today, down 3.3%. We do have some news here. Quantum Machines and Rigetti. This is going to be Quantum Machines and Rigetti Computing announces the application of AI to automate the calibration of a quantum computer. Let me be honest with you. That seems like just kind of a bunch of different. What happened here? I got it. Producers rolling. That sounds like kind of a fluffy headline. I don't know. You tell me what you folks think of that. The other stock being mentioned here is that QUBT, right? Let me flip over to it. Sorry, lost his QUBT. There we go. Here we go. And that is, in fact, quantum computing. So these stocks both moving down on that news here. I know that you didn't necessarily prepare for this. You got a knee-jerk reaction to this, 13? To me, I almost wonder if this is just... Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it just sounds like they're just using AI for fine-tuning their quantum computer. That's basically what I'm getting out of this, is that they're partnering to utilize... They're partnering to open the bell.
So did you hear that bell, by the way?
Yes, I did. That was glaring.
That was just for you. Sideshow, right. Really quick, that was just for you. You've been asking me to bring back the bell. We had all types of technical issues, and lo and behold, you get your bell back, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, so that's what I'm getting out of this this partnership here, is that they're just tapping AI to accelerate the calibration of their quantum computer.
Okay.
So it's just it's AI assistance is what it comes down to.
Okay.
BNZI actually bouncing off the VWAP area, coming back up. There might be something going on there with BNZI, so keep an eye on that one. Looking at QURE, that one's trying to hold above VWAP and push up as well. CPIX trying to do the same. CMRX, this thing's leaking, losing the 65 EMA in the process. If this continues to go lower, I think it might head up down beneath 2 and find some support down lower in the 180s. So that, or maybe even 175, where we bottomed, and also have the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. All right, so let's see, what else can we find here that's moving? So QURE, waiting to see if this one actually pushes up.
Sorry to interrupt you there. CPIX, this is really just kind of holding this area here. 286 looks to, it's coming down. We'll see if it holds here. Watch CPIX. I really would like to see a move through 3.
Rigetti with a nice move up out of the open back into the consolidation area from pre-market. So that whole supply zone that we've had in the extended trading hours is going to be a resistance area. So I don't know how long it's going to be able to, or if it will even be able to chew through all that. But so far, that's the zone to get through, that whole area from about 445 to 465.
BNZI here, Whisk, good call. This is actually trading up to the VWAP. Looks like it kind of got rejected there, at least on my screen. Yeah, came back in a little bit. I've got the VWAP here, 227 on TradingView, excuse me, and I have it at 223 in my broker. So separated by about 4 cents here. BNZI volume looks good. Looks like it's trying to take out this level here. We'll see if this moves higher. BNZI.
Yeah, let's see here. Okay, so this one had a pretty low float.
This is Bonsai, baby. We should know this one.
Yes, we do.
I got looking at the level 2 here. 230 and 232 have a little bit of stock there, but nothing that this thing can't blow through.
I'm going to cycle through some of these. Okay, CPIX, that one finally lost VWAP. Let's see if it gets support down at 260 where the 65 EMA is. QURE, this one's trying to push up now. Coming up, here we go. We're starting to get some movement out of QURE. Looking for that 1588 pre-market high, sorry.
Here, it's okay. Here's BNZI. This is right up to the trading view VWAP, above the VWAP in the broker. We'll see if it gets to, I got 235 as a big offer there. That's the biggest offer that I can see on the level 2 so far. This is pushing here, but this is all going to be about the volume. If this volume dries up, I don't know.
250.
I think
250 has a pretty large size there. It's actually twice as big as 235.
Perfect. So those are going to be your upside targets if it holds here. BNZI. Good stuff, 13.
And interestingly, that 250, that's right where that supply zone is from pre-market. When we popped up to there, it's where the bulk of that consolidation is, right in the middle. So everybody's trying to get out of that. All right, CDRF. This one went down to the 65 EMA and is bouncing, trying to recapture VWAP. Let's see if we get some acceleration to the upside here.
That was that Cardiff Oncology, right? CRDF, right?
Yes.
Did I get that right?
The trend line,
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, BNZI, here we go. We're starting to get some movement. Push through that 235 that you saw there, going into 250. That was a great call.
Yep, sure was. I'm gonna wait for this to reset here. I needed to get some green on the screen. I needed to go 1 for 1. So here we are. We're playing from ahead, unlike the Chicago Bears. Okay. Anyway, so gains booked in BNZI. That might not be done. If that comes back into VWAP, I'm going to look to trade that here again.
It's a great trade. Great way to start. Look at RG, or look, here goes Rigetti. It just blasted off.
I'm a little too late to that. Sorry about that. Really good stuff here. Jay Wild, you were all over that. You were on this early. Really good stuff here from the team. Rigetti, what was that high there? 488, it looks like.
I got 487. There's a big wall at 5 that it still has to take out. But that just took out all of pre-market. So now we are looking at some of the consolidation and resistance areas from yesterday. At the pre-market anyway. So looks like 5 is definitely got some sell orders there, probably from everybody getting stuck in pre-market yesterday.
River, you know what? I'll take this all day, bro. This makes me happy. Bonsai out with green, worth the silence this morning, Ryan. You the real MVP here. You're going to get a register ring. By the way, I know we're on a new hosting service here. Did the register ring come through?
Yeah. That actually came through much better than it usually does.
What's funny here, guy? I don't want to get too far ahead of things, but it does seem like this new service might be a little bit better. Just to kind of throw that out there. We'll see here. Big shout out to everybody out there for being awesome. And River, awesome that you started your day green here. Okay, CMRX getting called by Crow. Looks like we just popped over the VWAP here. CMRX volume looks to be expanding. Boy, this looks good. BNZI keeps going.
Yep.
What's that 250 area that we talked about?
Yeah, coming up to a little bit of resistance. I see quite a few sell orders from about 260 to 275. If we get that volume to continue to expand like it just did 5 minutes ago, we'll take all those out. 279, the pre-market high in BNZI. And here we go with CMRX. This one also pushing up here. Great mention on that one. So look at like we're trying to get through 250. That's where some of the largest selling is happening. Also see some size at 260 as well. Pre-market high on this one, 266.
Okay, really good stuff there, Crow. That was a timely call, I gotta say. BNZI really did stop at that 250 there. So frankly, I'm pretty happy with my initial sale on that first day trade. That worked. Rigetti 5 test coming as we speak.
Okay, so looking to see if BNZI bounces off VWAP here. I see that there's some support at 230. You got some buyers down there in concentration. So looks like we could get a bounce if we continue to get pushed up here. See a lot of size either way. 279 give you that big level to get over here with BNZI.
Okay, I'll go back to BNZI here. Rigetti did go right through that $5 level. Matt here, this is actually a really good question. Let me address this here. Matt's asking, how are you seeing those sell orders and quote walls? Really good question here. This is the level 2 that we're looking at. So there's many different ways to look at level 2 data. You could have a level 2 widget in your broker. We use what we call DOMs or active traders or trees, where it basically shows you the price in the middle and then the orders on the buy side and the orders on the sell side in what looks like a ladder or a tree format. This gives us an idea of where those possible resistance levels are. The long and short, or the short answer to your question here, level 2 is where we're getting that information from, Matt.
Yep. All right, CRDF still getting rejected by VWAP. Not sure it's going to hold 65 EMA either if it keeps up with that. So maybe we see some more downside in CRDF. Not sure yet. BNZI kind of just putting in a neutral candle for the time being in the 5-minute chart for the next minute and a half. See if that changes.
Gels, GELS, Smoke Tuna. This is a really good call. This is approaching the VWAP literally right here. Looks like this is trying to go on Gels. See if it finds some resistance here. Maybe it comes back in.
Yeah, a little spread too. Not sure. I mean, this thing really spread. Look at 20-cent spread.
Yeah, this is kind of a nasty spread here. Floats 4.82 million. This is not out of the normal range of what we're trading here, but you're right. This is a little bit spready.
Be careful with QURE. I don't like the way these wicks look on the 5-minute chart. Having a really hard time getting above VWAP. I don't think I'd really want to take a trade with this one until I saw that it was going to get above VWAP and hold above there. Looking like this might come down a little bit more.
Okay, good stuff there. 13.
CMRX trying to push up as well. Big wall there at 240 and 250. You see those on CMRX?
On CMRX, no, I actually have GELS lined up here. This is still the spread is wild. It goes from like a 4-cent spread to a 20-cent spread, just like back and forth. So, man. We'll see, though. GELS, if this can move right through the VWAP here, we could be in good shape. Jay Rice mentioning A-Lab again as the best. Sorry, were you trying to get in there?
Just was going to say QURE still trying to push up here.
Okay, I'll go back to that here in a sec. Jay mentioning A-Lab, still the best name here, doing a little trim and trail. I'll be honest, Jay, I don't see a new trade here yet. I know you've been in this recent move that has been awesome. But I'd be curious to know, what levels would you like to actually reload this at on A-Lab? I'd be curious on that. Okay, here's GELS. What was the QURE is the one that you were looking at? Sorry about that.
No worries. Yeah, GELS actually. This looks like it's about to go. Just needs to break that 5 and then it could take off.
There we go. There we go on GELS. Oh, I'll tell you what, that spread just spread it back out. That bid came all the way back into under 5. I took a little bit here at 492, and they just brought in another bid there. Trying to move higher here.
Just going to cycle through these again, see if there's something.
Here we go on Gels. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Rigetti might be trying to move higher as well. See if it gets a recapture. There's a lot of. I don't know. Oh, nice.
Sorry. Oh gosh, I'm looking at the wrong screen here. Sorry. GELS. I sold into this here. This might halt, right?
Yeah. It looks like it's about to halt. Yep.
If it holds here, do I take a little bit more?
It's halted.
We'll see when it unhalts. Nice little scalp. 2 for 2 here today. I will take that.
Nice.
Whoever was telling you about this, X-Sniper, Tuna, you guys that were on Gels here, it looks like you were on the right mover here. This one gave us the best move so far. Really good stuff. Register ring for you and a 1-up. Great job. What did you have there? I feel like I was rolling you over.
QURE, he's trying to get through the pre-market high of 1588. It's continuing to push up there. Also, we are getting some more upside with Rigetti, trying to take out the 509 intraday high. Lots of sell orders between here and 530. Lots of sell orders. So,
oh wow, that Rigetti move, that pullback to 482, that just launched it. Really good stuff here.
We're also seeing BNZI trying to push up back over VWAP as well. QURE, here we go, trying to take out that 1588.
Here is Bonsai.
And QURE almost new highs. It's really fighting. There we go. Now we're in the 16 handle and we're off. Okay,
this was a pretty good move here. I'm actually not in this one, unfortunately. Nice little move here, though.
Okay. I should have looked at this earlier. So QURE, if you go to the weekly and you turn on the 200 EMA, look where we almost got to.
Right, almost there. 1632 is that spot.
Yep, and it's going to halt. It's halted.
Okay, QUR. So that's two stocks halted: QURE and GELS.
And Rigetti might be a third.
Rigetti might be a third.
Yeah, sorry.
all good. All good.
I mean, it started to move, but maybe not. But it started to look that way after it had that spike up to 516. Keep an eye on it. It might still do it if it.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to halt. Does feel a little bit heavy up here, but this has been a good move nonetheless. How are we doing on Tesla, by the way? Oh my gosh, I know we had our hands full with some of the smaller movers here. Tesla 6-point move right off the gate here.
It just hit 400.
X Sniper reminding you that GELS no levels on his screen above 643. But I'll tell you what, let's see where that opens, right, X Sniper? That might be a big gap up and go on that. We'll see.
Oh yeah, blue sky territory. This is also what a new company as of October. New IPO.
Someone mentioned HWH in the chat earlier, but I couldn't catch it. CMRX getting mentioned. This is spiking here. Unleashed, says Tuna. Above the pre-market and the after-hour high here. Volume the biggest of the day. Volume telling the story here.
So far, of all the ones that we've covered, it seems like CPIX is the only one that hasn't really done anything yet. So great day from the movers list. I guess CDRF also hasn't really gotten going yet either.
And it's not over yet either.
It's not over. So I have 3 suspended on my list here since I just added HWH because that's halted to the downside now.
Yep. MGX, I believe this is one from yesterday. This is also halted to the downside. Indeed, MGX, one from yesterday. This is halted to the downside. FBYD also halted here, but that thing's very thin. I don't know if anyone mentioned this one here today. I don't see a trade there.
Just looking to see what's setting up. I'm going to, okay, so I know I'm talking a little bit out loud here, but I just really want to see if CRDF is going to hold its 65 EMA. I'm kind of on the fence about this one. So just looking to see if it does that, because if it'll hold above the 65 EMA, we could get a recapture of the VWAP pretty quick. So just something I'm going to be keeping on my radar here with that. CPIX, finally some green, but it's only to try and recapture the 65 EMA on the 5-minute. I want to see this get back above VWAP because there's not much to trade between here and VWAP. So I don't know if I would try and just take that small trade.
Carmen, nice to have you on board the ONDS train. This is a long-term drone play for me. They also have another aspect of the business for wireless internet. And I think that has to do with the Siemens deal that you're talking about. But really good stuff here on ONDS. Good luck. I actually, one of my trading mentors has been on this for a while, holds like 2 million plus shares of this. So in this one for the long haul, not a quick day trade for me here.
All right, we're ready trying to push up. 516 is the intraday high. I see a lot of sellers between 510 and 520 that either they're going to take out or get rejected at.
Okay, GELS is open, folks. GELS is open. Looks like it's not. Looks like, big pull there on GELS. Okay, so that halt, not great. GELS pulling back to the VWAP. Let's see if it holds it. Remember, this thing is really kind of spready. Volume candle, not great. A lot of sell orders in there. We'll see if GELS bounces from here. I would say if it loses this VWAP, let's wait for it to set up.
Soundhound having a good morning. That one gone up to 1536 after opening.
GELS, big pull here. Careful with this one. Careful with this one. This actually might halt to the downside.
CMRX, this might be getting ready to try and push up through 277 again. There's a large amount of sellers between 272 and 280 and 283. So we get some expansion in volume here. We could take those out, but it looks like it's trying to flag here right now. It might need a little bit more time though.
Mike asking if there's any news here on Google. Looks like this might just be kind of trading with some of those tech earnings here. I don't see any.
Didn't they announce some kind of quantum chip that they came out with? I thought that's what the news was.
Here's Google's Willow quantum computing chip sparks stellar. Okay, so this was yesterday then.
Yep.
Was this after hours? Yeah.
Yep, late after hours.
I think that's what it was. Good eye there.
All right, here we go with CMRX. We're starting to move up here through that those orders. Just took out 272, looking for a break over 277. 280's got the biggest size there. Just need to see the volume really expand in order to take that out. It's like quite a large size. Oh gosh, let's see. Yeah, still might need more time, or it's done. I don't know. That was that's starting to look like a tweezer top. Here comes some buyers at 250. Big question marks here for CMRX. CPIX still not able to recapture VWAP. I'm sorry, the 65 EMA. QURE, this one still not done yet. Might be moving back up.
Okay.
Here goes Rigetti.
Stay focused here, mentoring. That was a quantum play on Google. Let me ask you: is this a trade here? Is this angle here a trade? I mean, Google is ripping here. I definitely feel like I'm chasing Google up 6% here. No position yet, but man, oh man, this has got me thinking maybe there's a trade to be had here.
Until they had that news, it looks like this was going to head lower, but now it's just broken the trend, and that trend you can draw from July, the July highs to the November highs, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Here we go. Rigetti, new intraday high, 525. CPIX still, this thing's going to probably end up going lower. That doesn't look like this is going to be a good one today until it starts turning around. And so far, nothing but red candles out of the open.
Here's your trend line on Google, by the way. This is the trend that you're saying we're snapping here. Next sure seems like all-time highs there for Google are in sight with this move here. So really good stuff. Really good stuff.
All right, still waiting for CMRX to see if it's going to do the thing. I like the formation. Just need to see that volume expand. Rigetti, 530. That's been a great one.
Missed this one today. Yeah, missed this one today. Doing okay with some of the selections here. Definitely missed Rigetti though.
Thank you guys for pounding the table with the next time. Just drag me across the table and knock everything over. Get my attention.
Ryan, there's always a trade on the Mag 7 up or down. Okay, well, it looks like Google, that move here, trade right now is up. That thing is a momentum move to the upside on this. VRAR on scanner, that did have a volume pop in here. VRAR.
Soundhound continues to push up.
I see what you mean here with the with like the formation here on CMRX, and I too want this to really kind of bust through. I see that big size there at 272.
It took that out once, but it couldn't get much higher. Really need to see big volume expansion in order to get that. So if you look at the volume comparatively to these past other 5-minute candles, that one at the open was really the best one so far. Even the one that we got 10 minutes ago, that would be the kind of volume you needed to push up through that. But so far, not getting it.
Yep.
And like I said, it might need a little bit more time. CRDF. Here's a green candle trying to recapture VWAP. Let's see if that happens, because if we can get it back above VWAP, we'll have some another stock that's setting up for some more trades. And CPIX also trying to recapture 65 EMA. So not done with quite yet with those two.
CRDF kind of messing around with its VWAP right here.
We're getting coming back in.
This looks trouble here. Volume is kind of compressing as well.
So let's see. Soundhound. I mean, I know this thing's crazy. I'm looking for 1550 as the next upside resistance area. Then after that, I don't have one until 17. No guarantee they get up there, but that's just what I have. All right, so CP. Okay, QURE might be getting some movement here. 1613 is the intraday high. It got support from VWAP just a moment ago, trying to push back up here over 16.
All right, Google did really good stuff here on QURE, and that volume actually starting to expand here. Watch this volume stick in case those continue to expand. That could be pretty good. Google, which we were just talking about on that quantum move, this, I would be curious if this thing pulls back to the VWAP here. I've got it at 185.50-ish. 185.40, 185.50 right in there. This pulls back to the VWAP. This might actually be loadable for another trade. We'll keep an eye here on Google.
Yeah, and get it when you get a chance. Read that news on what that the chip is and what it does. It's pretty fascinating.
Okay.
All right, so QURE trying to figure out which direction it's going to go. Kind of a neutral candle at the moment. We have another minute 30 left on that. Waiting to see if BNZI is actually going to turn around here or not. Beneath its VWAP, so not jumping into this quite yet.
Yeah, not looking good. And frankly, that 65 EMA on the 5 minutes down here at 169. So if that really starts to fall out, you might get some support down there. I wouldn't want to hold through that. I'm kind of passing on that right now. This CMRX, this is still this flag that you were talking about. This is doing a really good job. I think as long as this holds 250, probably okay here. It really does need that volume to push to the highs. We'll see if we get it.
Yep. All that. Everything you said. QURE, though, looking pretty good. Looking like it's trying to take out that 16 and then subsequently 1613, the intraday high. But again,
subsequently, that's my favorite word, the way that you say it. I've always said subsequent, but subsequently, I feel like that's really where
maybe
it's at.
I'm pronouncing it wrong.
I think it's awesome. Wrong, right? I don't care. It's awesome either way. Palantir here. Someone was mentioning this earlier. This is a dip and move through the VWAP here. That looking pretty good. Little calls there, kind of aggressive, but little aggressive call buying in NVIDIA here, although they're not huge on size. Google, by the way, we just talked about that, maybe coming back into its VWAP. Look where this is, right at its VWAP, and so far holding there. I'll tell you what, I might take some Google here. Let's see. I'm going to try some here. We'll see if this works. It's pulling a little bit. That's what we want to see.
I guess I'm not going to get my Google ads anytime soon. I had orders out for 155 and 150. So maybe I have to cancel those now.
Okay. I put in a little starter there on Google. And it keeps pulling here. I want to see if this forms any type of bottom. If it does, I'll probably add a little bit more.
And those are long-term levels too. I was looking for a loss of that 200 SMA on the daily. We actually ended up bouncing off that. And then this news today just kind of erased a lot of hope for me getting to add more at those levels. So that's fine. I have been in this for a while and I just wanted to add more.
Okay.
All right. Are we going to get this move here with CMRX? Really good formation. Just need that last component, the volume to match. And then we got something here.
Come on, we'll hold in there. I'm going to go to CMRX because I can hold this Google a little bit longer. I'm basically scaling into that. So looking pretty good. Nice support there on Google, 183.68. If we get down to 183.68, stay focused. I would probably add. Again, I went in kind of small here on that initial buy just because it's at VWAP and I don't know if VWAP's going to hold yet, but good stuff there on the support level. We'll see if it gets there. Here's your CMRX chart. This is still trying here to go.
Ooh, gel's really leaking now. Selling off. Might go to right to 4.
Okay, looking at the CMR, just because it looks like this is trying to go to the highs. I'm looking at the level 2 here. I see some size there at 275 and way more at 280. That's the spot, 280.
I think we're going to get at least 275. There it is. Now we just need to break over 277. We just did. Come on, let's go to 290 now. Like you said, we need to take out that area at 280. It's a huge amount of sell orders there, but we get this volume expansion. I think we might get 290, maybe even more. And if I don't,
that'd be awesome. Break at 280 here would probably send this.
yeah. So that's the thing to watch for here. I'd be raising my stop at this point.
Come on, let's break through 280. Let's break through 280.
That'd be so magical if we just got that right here. There it is.
There it goes. There's your 290. That's your next spot there. I love how all you had to do was say it was going to be magical. 13.
Sprinkle a little magic on that.
Bang, bang, bang. And we're out on that. All right. Let's go. Sound effects.
Oh, dude.
We're going to do it.
Oh, please tell me some other folks got that too, because that was a really good flag. That was really good.
And we had plenty of time on the setup too. Called early. I got in that trade because of your call. There was plenty of time. We outlined it here for you. Now we got a 3 test here. I'm out of this. We might break 3.
That's okay. This can do whatever it wants. The trade that we wanted, we got. That was just a lovely thing to see.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. Really, really good stuff there. Really, really good stuff there.
All right, let's find the next one.
we did break 3. Here we go. 322. Oh, it keeps going.
All right. Time to
Anar's ripping here. Deborah, please tell me you're selling into this. Please, you guys. Good stuff. At least be scaling out. Sorry, go ahead.
65 EMA on the monthly is the next target. 342, 343-ish area. We're almost there to that level. So if you go to a monthly, turn on the 65 EMA, that's the next area I'd be shooting for. But we need the volume to match.
Okay, really good stuff. Crow in at 240, out at 310. Nice move there, Crow. Tom, I feel you on this one. Remember, I did take a McDonald's swing. Let me actually set this up here real quick. So here's your daily chart. All right. I'm with you, Tom. We want this to break to the upside here and then maybe fill this gap. This is kind of what we're looking at. I know it's pulling back here today, but you know what? My response to that, it's okay. Let's wait it out. We got plenty of time. These calls are January. Let's
QURE.
see up there.
Sorry to interrupt you. QURE.
No,
keep an eye on this one. It's still holding VWAP, getting support from it. It just needs to get that volume to push through 16 and higher. And you know, I think McDonald's really had a big PR screw up by not saying anything about how their customers called the police on the CEO of United Health shooter.
No, yeah, the shooter, right?
They didn't do anything about how great their staff is, or how their customers are the best customers, the most vigilant customers. They didn't do any of that.
I can see that, though, 'cause we're dealing with kind of a serious issue with a lot of unknowns there. I'll take the other side. I can understand why they didn't. You're making a really good point, and frankly, look, I'm someone of the belief that if somebody does something good for the community, very much like you see here, shout them out, right? Positive reinforcement.
Yeah, encourage.
I'm with you on that, 100%. But given the situation that somebody was effectively murdered, like I can see why maybe they wanted to take a backseat. But you do bring up a really good point there. That might have been some PR that they could have taken advantage of.
They could have, and they didn't. I think that was just a gem they were handed, and they lost it. Anyway, CMRX, this still trying to hang out above 3. This could end up pushing up higher. Maybe give it a little bit more time. I see the next area of resistance potentially is 330, but also that 65 EMA on the monthly at 342.
Tom, I didn't do a butterfly on that. I just took straight up January 315 calls. I went into the calls on their own.
The guys at Bing are up. What's going on with the China news? I see that some folks are talking.
Yeah, Frank here. Absolutely love this comment. I actually wish I had one that was clever enough. China rally faded faster than the front of the hammock. So we had news there about China stocks really kind of trading back up. That really quickly.
CPIX. Sorry to interrupt you. CPIX turned around, is trying to recapture VWAP. This could be the next one to watch. So let's keep this on our radar. Maybe there's a trade that sits up here. The thing that's concerning for me is this consolidation here in the pre-market that's up at around 295. That's going to be the big question mark for me once we recapture VWAP. Of course, first step is to recapture VWAP. So if we can't do that, then maybe there's something else that we can trade. But those are the next two things to watch for: CPIX, recapture VWAP, hold above that, and then get through that 295.
Here we go. Google, by the way, to stay focused. I know we did not quite get down to that spot that you were talking about. What was that, 183 and change you had on that? Nice little bounce here, though. We'll see. Still in Google. We can. I'm going to trade this all day. I think on Google. If we lose, God, I'm in so small. I can't. I feel like I can give this a couple of bucks to the downside. I'll probably add at that support level we talked about. Then maybe again at 183. If it breaks 182, maybe we'll cut that. Let's see though. We got some time here on Google. We got some time.
One of the flavors from yesterday is setting up nicely. GXAI.
Okay.
Matter of fact, it might end up going here pretty soon if the volume expands. 470 is the intraday high.
Okay. This had a nice little impulse move on volume here.
Yeah. So I think that's just the setup is so good with this one. I think the last component is just the volume. So just watch for volume expansion in GXAI. I think you'll have a good trade here. That would be the thing I'm watching for. CMRX also trying to repeat the same pattern what it did previously. A little bit more selling in this one, so maybe watch for VWAP support. If it doesn't get that, then we'll move on.
Okay. Brandon, good question here. Real quick, do you guys set stop losses, take profit levels, or just everything manual? So this is a really good question, Brendan. I'll tell you what, I've been hurt in both areas with this. What?
We're getting higher. So I didn't want to interrupt you. I just wanted to shout that out and have you keep going. So if we're getting higher, but go for it.
Okay, well, it interrupted me. Damn it. Okay, real quickly here, Brandon. As far as I do not, when it comes to day trading, I generally don't set those stops unless I'm intentionally going to look away from that. One of the reasons is because I just don't want that day trade to be flushed out. Now, if I get an initial move, maybe I'll set a level to take profit at, or maybe even a trailing stop just to make sure I don't give the gains back. That's a different story. But for day trading, I like to kind of babysit the trade. Now, on a swing trade, a longer term investment, especially if it's levels based, yeah, I absolutely throw those orders out there. Absolutely. This is a good question, though.
Yeah, in that trade we were just doing with CMRX, I was we were mentioning, raising the stops. Was it that one or was it a different one? I mentioned raising stops on one of these that was turning into a winning trade. So as soon as we started taking, if we were hitting those levels where I had my sell orders at, kept raising my stop so I wouldn't get hurt by any kind of flush. So yes, absolutely raise your stops. Some of it's manual, some of it's not, but I do have stop losses set, and I do have limit orders set for taking profit as well. So that's it's all part of the game and how you're going to trade. But yes, we do. Some of it is automatic, some of it is manual, but always set your stops.
Look at CRDF, dude. I feel like you called this one too, 13.
Because it turned around off the 65 EMA and took out the VWAP. Yeah. So the next thing it's got to do is get through this this consolidation in pre-market, and then this will we can look towards that. Okay. But yeah, that was a good one so far. Thanks for the mention.
Yep.
QURE now beneath VWAP and maybe headed lower. Maybe. BNZI also was lower, maybe finding a bottom in BNZI. I'll have to wait and see with that one. Rigetti, this one up to got as high as 555 before reaching a little bit of a top there. Let's see if it comes back in.
What's Gels doing here? GELS. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. That downside halt really killed it.
Well, let's see if it gets the support down around here where its 200 EMA is. I'm not going to hold my breath on this. There's a lot of consolidation in the supply zones to get through on its way back up to VWAP. So not having the most confidence in gels right now. Okay.
QMCO, this is another one of those quantum names. This looks like we had a nice little impulse move, dip to the VWAP, and then rip again. So that one looks like it's going. Miles mentioning GXAI here. That's got AI in the name. That new highs looking like that's continuing to move. Wow.
There's the same pattern. We talked about it just not even that long ago. Same pattern as CMRX. Yeah. And now we're getting that resolution. 475 on that one. Let me see if there's levels.
Look really quick. JTAI, do we have a similar formation to what we just saw here? Looks like this did pull back towards the VWAP. Maybe this goes and takes a new high here. 566 would be that upside level.
Let's see here. Let me pull that up on my broker because you might be right. Oh, okay. So we had a pull down to VWAP and it's got support. So
yeah,
I want to. Gosh. a couple of things.
I'm thinking, I'm looking at it too. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, gosh,
it looks like it could be, but the way that the current candle and the past two look, I'm not so sure that that's the exact same setup we got here. It looked like it could be reversing. Let's see if it can hold above VWAP, and then I'll have more confidence in it. And for the next couple of minutes, I wouldn't jump in this one just yet.
Here's the OG AI ticker. I guess we'll just call it that. This is ticker AI here. This actually looking pretty good. A similar type of formation, although it was down here. This bouncing back after those subpar earnings. QURE calls. Interesting. Those are the 13 calls. Those expire in January. That's the monthly contract.
Yeah, CRDF continues to push up. This one looks like it could get going pretty well here. Volume needs to be better. Sorry.
Chat, really quickly, how much do you guys like these banners at the bottom? I got to be honest, producer, I think these are awesome. You are totally helping us get news out there, and it looks super clean in the new studio here. So I will give my vote. I definitely really like them. I think they're better, but I'd love to hear from the chat. Do you guys like that? You folks like that? Sorry. Let me know. I think they're awesome.
Supper is asking, what are you using to see the big orders just out of the range of the chart? We're still using level 2. And if there's anything that that I'm using the chart on for targets.
Give you 1 sec.
Okay. Yeah, if there's anything that I'm looking at out of the the range of this price ladder on the chart, it's because it's like a previous level that we've the price is traded up to or down to at some point, or it's like an EMA of some kind. So it's stuff like that. Otherwise, it's just level 2 data that we're looking at. All right, so JTAI still waiting to see if this one gets going. I'm just not sure about the VWAP. I want to see it hold VWAP, and right now it's right down to it. So a little bit concerned with that one. CMRX, this one looks like it's also coming back in. I'm not in anything at the moment. I just like to just maybe take a breather, see what's setting up, and right now not a whole lot is looking too great. Cardiff might be good, but again, it's still got to get through this supply zone in the pre-market. I'm just kind of just waiting to see what's setting up here. Rigetti, on the other hand, this thing just continues to rip, so that's leaving me behind. Hopefully some of y'all are in it. Gels might be getting a bounce here off the 200 EMA, but I'm not confident we're going to recapture VWAP in this one.
All right. Which one are we talking about?
I was just mentioning Gels, that it's trying to turn around and come back up, but that I don't have a whole lot of confidence that it's going to get back up to VWAP. I would expect a bear flag to form on this one over the next maybe 10 or 15 minutes. That's just my thought. I could be wrong about that, but it's just so far underneath VWAP with a lot of supply to chew back up through to get there. I'm just less confident than I am in some of these other ones.
Real quick here, Savant Trading and Seahorse Trading aware that it is only 720p. That is because we just tried to get this up so we could at least have a show here today. But you're right. I'm sure we will look into getting full 1080p so that it's a little bit more readable. I'll say this. If you guys need me to read out any of these numbers, just let me know. I'll be happy to read them out here. Which ticker were you screaming?
Yep, CMRX. I'm not sure if we're going to get the breakout or not. It looks like a good setup, but just it's not sure about the volume. Certainly looks like it wants to go. I'm not gonna jump into this one, but if you're in this, maybe consider raising your stop so you're not gonna take a hit on this one.
Okay, Google continuing to work here. That day trade. So this one. I know with some of these smaller stocks, they're quick in, they're quick out. This Google day trade, a little bit different though. As long as this continues to show some strength here today, I'd be okay sitting in this till maybe near the end of the day, right? This is Google. This is not one of these kind of smaller companies that you don't really know a whole lot about. This is, I'd be willing to hold this a little bit longer here today. This is cooking. We out here. Google.
Speaking of cooking, Rigetti still moving up, 578 now, the intraday high. No position in this one. I already said this one left me behind, so I didn't jump into it when I would have liked to. But if this continues to move up, this might end up going to 765.
Okay. Wow. 765. What does that look like here on the daily? Oh my gosh, we don't even really have data going back that far. Woo, good stuff. We'll see if we get that on Rigetti. So which one? Sorry?
JTAI still hasn't.
Did it do it?
It's not yet, but it's still, the setup is still there. It's still above VWAP. So as long as it holds VWAP, there's still a chance that this might do the same, bull flag breakout play that we did with CMRX. Remember, volume is starting to wane a little bit here, folks. So, some of these breakouts we're looking for, they might not have as much follow through as the other ones. RDF, Cardiff. This one actually looks like it might be the best one right now. I'd be anticipating a break of that trend pretty soon. I like the way the MACD looks too. Last component that we just need volume.
Okay, so here's the trend line that you had me add.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be right there. We'll see if we get that here. CRDF looking pretty good. What we're ballparking that at about 408. Okay.
Yeah.
408. There it is on the screen. Oh, look, we kind of butted up against that in the pre-market. What do you know? Looks to be a spot.
It's almost like it's a level.
Almost like it's a spot. 13. Way to go, dude.
All right, let's take a look around, see what else is giving us a setup here. Yeah, Rigetti just continues to push up. This thing is gone.
QURE here, right here at the VWAP. If this can get a volume pop through there, we might be good. Google might be coming back to the VWAP, kind of slowing down off that curl here. This is still looking okay on Google. What else do we have here? Apple's a little bit weaker. How's Amazon? You know what? We probably don't have Izzy today because of all of the stream shenanigans. But Amazon, his Amazon here is still doing pretty well here today.
CMRX putting in a series of upper shadows that I'm not too fond of. Be careful with that one. Hopefully you've adjusted your stop so that you're not going to get hurt if that decides to pull.
320 is still the spot I'm looking at.
All right. Just looking around, not seeing a whole lot. Wow, SoundHound really pulled.
Let's take a look at SoundHound real quick. Oh, yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Pulled a whole $1 off that move. Okay.
And CPIX, that one fell out of the 65 EMA support and all the support it had beneath it. So might come down to the 230s before there's some buyers that step in. We're kind of entering that area now. Okay.
Sounds good. Harris, you're asking about ASST. The reason we're not talking about this is because there's really nothing worth talking about. This thing is a penny stock piece of junk that's really kind of rolled over from yesterday. Really seems like we're on the backside of the move from yesterday. I don't really see a trade here. If we see a setup, I'm sure we'll come back, but there's really nothing going on here with the stock today. This looks like a dead trade. CMRX, on the other hand, maybe we take out 320 to the upside. Here we go.
Yeah, that's looking better. It's looking better. 325. That's the breakout spot. Still has a really nice setup. That hasn't changed.
Bernardo, yes. Bernardo, appreciate that. Here, you know what? Maybe I'll share that here with the group. Bernardo sent me something here on SoundHound. By the way, Bernardo, really quick, shout out to you and a register ring. You've been on SoundHound for a while. That was pretty, and you've been doing pretty well with it. Let me give you that. Let me see if I can find it here.
In the meanwhile, it looks like Gels is putting in that bear flag. I'd expect the price to reverse and start coming down pretty soon. Maybe somewhere in the next 5-10 minutes, it should start to resolve lower.
Here is that link that, excuse me, here is the link of the article that Bernardo was giving me here earlier. I have not actually gone through it because I had a whole bunch of stuff to do here this morning, but I have it queued up here, and I just shared it with the group. So really good stuff there.
Still waiting to see if CMRX is going to end up doing that.
Yeah.
These upper shadows, it's really concerning. That's why I'm keep mentioning with this one. Make sure you got your stops in place, just in case this decides it's not going to resolve the way we were looking for it. It's going to come down to VWAP. And don't want anybody to get hurt in this one.
Yeah, and if you're going to try this one, I would say that the buy has got to be closer to 3 here, and then again, you're still waiting for that 320 pop to the highs.
All right, so I'm kind of just in the moment now where things are kind of all question marks at the moment. I'm just waiting to see what resolves here. I don't have a position in any of this, but I'm just waiting for some things to set up to where I'd like to jump in. The line's not great in these.
Sorry, no, it's okay. I interrupted you that time. It's my fault. John's getting mentioned here by Crow. I think this was mentioned by somebody else earlier. Was this Jacob? Someone was on this one. John's here. This is Halted here, up 91%. This is a recent IPO. God, these banners, producer, these banners are awesome. We might not go back to StreamYard. I'm not trying to make work for anyone else, but I'm throwing it out there right now. Stuff is awesome. Jacob, it was you. It was you, Jacob. I tell you what, you got a sharp eye. You are on a lot of these movers here today.
There we go. CMRX.
CMRX, did that get above 320?
Finally.
There it is. That nice patience there. We're going to give you some sound effects on that. Really good patience there. Let me go back to Juns here real quick because we are in a halt here. This is a recent IPO.
And there's the pull. God, I knew that was coming.
Well, I really moved away from
it. Just the whole time it's setting up for this. It's putting in these wicks like it wants to pull. So to see this pop and then immediately pull, that's exactly what you did. You had to be quick. You had to kind of expect that. This is exactly why I keep saying adjust your stops with these. Be careful with CMRX. I don't know what it's going to do next. This pull doesn't look great.
Real quickly here, Miles is saying this is a bull trap. To be clear though, even if you get in a bull trap, 13, you did a really good job calling that trade here. Yes, we had to be very quick to get that, but again, we started at the beginning of the day here today saying that look, sell into some of these pops. You don't have to hold it for the big move. And if you are going to hold for the big move, make sure that you scale out and pay yourself. But in any case, CMRX kind of rough there. We'll see what happens. Juns, really quick, let me cover this here. Let me actually get through this before we shout out a different ticker here. Jupiter Neurosciences is a clinical stage research and development pharmaceutical company located in Jupiter, Florida. Company has developed a unique reversatile I've never seen that word before. Platform product primarily targeting treatment of neuroinflammation. All right. So this was a recent IPO from early November. Yeah.
Stay focused. I like Google at 200, maybe even higher. I've been looking for Google go to 200 ever since it put in that inverse head and shoulders and broke 170. We just, the only reason it came back in is because of the antitrust ordeal.
December 3rd, it looks like on JUNS, we had news going into that IPO going up to that. We'll see what happens when this opens. I have no line on this, though. Kind of a new issue. I haven't done enough research. Here is Google, though. I'll tell you what. This is stay focused. Big shout out to you. In fact, one up to stay focused, making me keep this on my radar here. We came right back into the VWAP. We did exactly what we hoped, and this is working out. Which one?
I think Cardiff looks probably the best out of all the ones we're scanning through at the moment. Just need to make sure this stays above VWAP because I'm still looking for that trend break. I don't know about some of these other ones. I'm just kind of looking at CRDF and thinking this has probably the best potential, but just gonna keep it small here. I have a small position in this one right now.
Real quick here. This is JUNS has resumed higher and then into a halt. Really? Is that what we're going to do here, folks?
All right. I guess it's time to, oh wait, we don't have those because this is just blue sky territory. Break out the fibs.
Break out the fibs. Halted here. JUNS. Tom, really quickly here. Tom asking, is Miss Anne Marie? I love how formal you are about that. That's really awesome. Is Miss Anne Marie able to get to the stream despite the problems this morning? I sent her the new link. She said, thank you and see you soon. So all signs are a go. We're just going to roll with the punches, folks. Today was a lesson in rolling with the punches. And let me tell you something else. You guys are pretty much giving us consistent feedback that the new platform here is actually better. Of course, assuming we can get it to 1080p. We'll see about that. I'm assuming we can. But anyway, you guys all seem to say that this is a little bit better. Maybe this is a serendipitous step in the right direction. Maybe we found something to make the entire stream better here today. We certainly found a backup. That is for certain.
This is an amazing conversation between the Crow and Mike. Mike might name my first child DXYZ. No. First child is a SPAC. I saw that, and the first thing I thought is, wow, I wonder what the redemptions are like. Anyway, jokes aside, CRDF.
Didn't some famous artist name their kid Moon Unit? I think like Frank Zappa named their kid Moon Unit. So I mean, if you guys are naming your kids SPAC and DXYZ, it would not be the craziest name out there.
Okay, so look at the CMRX. That was the big worry. That was the big worry I had.
The death pull.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, death pull.
That's why I was pounding the table on adjusting stops for that. So now that may have flushed a lot of folks out, and it probably ends up pushing higher. But if we continue to wait a little bit longer, this may end up rolling over.
That I'll tell you what. I hate to even say this because I know it's a little bit risky, but buying that flush might have worked.
Mm-hmm. But we'll see if it does. I mean, it's still trading beneath 3, and it's kind of starting to lose that some more. If it loses VWAP, we get a close of this candle under VWAP. I think that we're probably headed lower.
Okay. J. Michael, appreciate this, and also JJ and Fairchild. Zappa named his kid Dweezil and Moon Unit.
Oh wow!
Look, man, I mean, I'm not here to criticize anybody, but that's what happened to John, Chris. I don't know. It just seems complicated to me. Nonetheless, back to the market here. CMRX, this is pulling. Actually, just lost 3 here again.
And MACD is indicating that it's starting to roll over a bit. Just be careful with CMRX if you're going to decide to trade this. I'm not going to be touching this one for the moment.
Gels, actually, this did a fairly decent job of trying to come back here. I don't think there's a trade there yet, but decent recovery.
Mm-hmm. That looks like a bear flag, though. I'd expect. I mean, I thought this wasn't going to get back up to VWAP. So far, it hasn't. But I'm about to get proven wrong. So we'll see. Still looks like it's bearish, though, to me.
Tell you what, bonsai here, no go. We had that initial move through the VWAP after that dip, and then really nothing since then.
This might be an area where it tries to find support, but don't be surprised if it doesn't. This would be the 65 EMA is right here on the 5 minute. So I
was going to say, if it does find support here, I'm not going to participate in this trade. By the way, seeing some Google. Well, actually, I'm seeing both. Seeing calls and puts come across the wire here. Not terrible in size, but pretty aggressive. The 190 and the 185 put. Okay, interesting.
Everybody say goodbye. Everybody say goodbye to CMRX. I think this one's going to come down to
goodbye, CMRX. Goodbye.
I think it's coming down to the 230s.
You told me to say it, so I'm going to say it.
Wait, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. I'm just still waiting for Cardiff to do the breakout with my small position.
Actually, I really want to go to Cardiff at some point in my life.
Rigetti provided an opportunity. It looks like it had a red candle here 5 minutes ago. Now it's trying to rebound off of that selling. I don't know what we're going to get here with Rigetti, though. This one also looks like it might be getting up to its its highs for the morning.
Okay.
I just want to see Cardiff to break the trend. That would just tickle me fancy.
Well, I'm going to let the stocks keep tickling you then. Lion Atlas here. Oh, by the way, guys, JUNS. Oh my God, nasty. Please tell me you guys weren't playing the halts on this one. This is going to halt to the downside.
Well done on your Tesla calls, Lion Atlas, and then also Ashu is mentioning check Boeing.
Okay. JUNS halted to the downside. Nasty 4-point reversal there. I hope you all are okay. Here's Boeing for look at Boeing. What a move.
I think they had some news over
layoffs.
after.
I think Fairchild is over here. Layoffs are helping them.
Yep. I think you're right. And then there was also a 60 Minutes episode with whistleblower concerns, I guess. Apparently Kramer may have said something this morning as well, or I don't know, or yesterday, not sure, but it seems okay. So Boeing restarts 737 MAX production a month after strike ends. Okay, so the big production concerns are kind of getting alleviated, so they may be back on track to start getting revenue. That's a very big bullish event. That's why we're ripping. Let's look at some levels here for this one.
I'll go to the big chart for Boeing.
Oh, 171 easy. That stands out right there. 171. 200.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, absolutely, it does.
Yeah, that's what I'd be looking at.
And that's almost a gap fill up here. I've got 172 and change would be that gap fill. And that goes back to the gap from August.
Yes, Mike. That's true as well. Oracle is dumping. Oh yeah, is it still dumping? Because it's been dumping since their earnings
since yesterday. Yeah, that earnings report was not well received,
and we told you exactly why. That margin compression is very concerning. Increasing capex by twofold next year, and you have the first EPS miss since 22 of the first quarter. Oh yeah, you're getting beaten up. Okay, what can we trade here? Things are just trying to either go lower or trying to turn around. Like QURE, this one looks like it's trying to turn around. Volume in these aren't looking too great though, so I'm not sure we're going to get, like we were mentioning earlier, that follow through. Bonsai is still trying to do that 65 EMA bounce. So far, that appears to be working, but again, the volume.
Real quick here, just a quick look across the market here. NASDAQ futures up almost 0.5%, Dow futures down 0.1%, and S&P futures here up 0.1%. So not a huge move here really anywhere across the market. The tech, NASDAQ leading the way to the upside. Quick checking on the VIX. We are at 14 on the VIX. 14.
Yep. And the only thing that's I'm waiting for is just for Cardiff to break that trend. That's all I want to see. That's all I'm in. Got my stops, so no pain here.
Only live trade for me right now is Google. We are still long, and we are up.
Oh my gosh, JTAI Miles! What a great mention! What a great mention,
dude. Well, I can't trade everything here, but hopefully our preparation on this one allowed you folks to trade this really great move here on JTAI. Miles, I'm giving you the register ring, boss. Oh, look at producer getting option sweeps on there as a banner, bro. We are going to boost the value of this stream. 2025 is going to be a big year. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Now, as long as somebody was in that JTAI trade, that's all I care about. I missed this one. That's fine. I have other things working, but this was a great move. I hope somebody caught that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Hopefully you guys hit that. Really good stuff.
Uh-oh. Are we
really good stuff. You guys are really doing great.
And I'm looking for Cardiff to be the next one that moves. It almost got up to that trend line just a moment ago. Give me that volume. Come on.
Let's go back to Cardiff.
I'm going to raise my stop just a tick. Get a little bit of profit in case it flushes on me.
Well, give me some Bob Uecker vibes there, just a bit outside. But I like that. That wasn't terrible. How is MicroStrategy doing here today? I'm surprised nobody mentioned this here. At least not yet. MicroStrategy down. Oh. Okay. So the interesting part here on MicroStrategy, Chris or Big B's, let me know if you're still out there. We are about to give up this range, this support range. And let me tell you something. If we do that, this head and shoulders pattern in effect on MicroStrategy, the next step would be looking for where do we end up taking this long?
Well, it looks like I just got flushed out of Cardiff.
Oh no.
That's okay. I didn't lose anything, so there's that positive.
Yeah, but I mean, I want you to make money, dude.
Well, I did. I raised my stop.
Cardiff in person.
I did make money. I raised my stop above my cost, so I got stopped out for a profit. You know, it didn't work like the way I wanted, but at the same time, I still made money. So, oh well.
Okay, sounds like really good risk management there. Then,
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
I think 5 minutes here, and we're waiting on JUNS to open. We'll see if we get any fireworks there. That halt was at 10:26. I think it's a 10-minute halt.
Gels still looking like we're going to get this bear flag resolution because that's exactly what we put in here.
Okay.
Not able to recapture the 65 EMA unless they get some kind of big volume to help push it up to and through VWAP. I think we are going to be turning around and going lower here at some point, maybe over the next 10, 15 minutes.
Big Bees, here we go. Still in it. I've given myself some time, so I'm not too worried about the short term. This is a seasoned trader talking right here. May get a couple more contracts. Not looking at it right now, but I think I got March. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what you said before. The one thing that's really that I'm kind of I'm not in this position with you, but the one thing that I'm watching is if your support area holds here, we're going to be able to use this for trades in the future, whether we're beneath or above that. So I want to see if this holds. I actually really want this to hold, and I would love for this to invalidate the head and shoulders pattern. Market doesn't care what I want, though, so we'll see what ends up happening.
All right, so re-entered Cardiff even smaller now, just to reduce my risk size, because I still think this looks like it's trying to push up and through the trend line. So got my order out, got a stop out, so I don't get hurt in this one, even though it's a small order. Looking for that break over the trend line. See if I get it.
Okay. Rigetti here back up towards the highs. 578 is what I have those highs at. Deborah, let's see if we break that and go higher here. That would be sick. And
regarding SMCI, since Line Atlas had brought it up, that one, I mean, this is doing what I want to say I anticipated with that consolidation that we were getting back in from September to, or actually late August to late October. That whole channel there looking like a big resistance area. So far, that's been the case. Now, the next step is to have this fall out of that channel and go low. We can see it go lower. That's what I'm looking for in this one, SMCI.
Okay. SMCI looks like it filled that gap and stopped, frankly.
All right, so CRDF being a little pain today.
You wanted to say it.
Well, I mean, I had another little position. Just got stopped out of that for an even tinier profit. So I think it's so. Maybe I don't know what I should be, if I should be just being patient, not setting my stop so high or what. But it looks like it wants to take out this trend line, but I keep getting stopped out. So at least I'm not losing anything.
Okay. Lion saying we need to hold above 380 on MSTR, Ryan, to go long. That's kind of what I'm looking at. I want to hold that support area. If we do that, feel pretty good about it. We shall see, though. We shall see. Looking across the way here. I just see I have a weird sound. That's the one thing. The new what do you call it here?
There, Miles. Sprinkle some magic on it.
That was magic when the magical call earlier.
Yeah, I'm not don't have a position in CRDF at the moment. I'm just gonna wait and see what it does.
More Google calls getting bought. That's GOOGL calls getting bought.
Crow mentioning CELH. We talked about this one in happy hour.
Yeah,
yesterday.
we did. This was a pretty good tax buy here.
Mm-hmm. Also, Deborah mentioning Rigetti. This thing push higher. It's about to. Looks like it's about to. 578 is the intraday high. We're almost there. Just got a bunch of sell orders to chew through here. See if that's what happens. No position in this one.
Okay. Google pulling back here. We'll see. Here, let me go GOOG. We lost the VWAP here. Again, stay focused if you're still out there. Remind me again what that support area was. It was 183 something. I can't remember the decimal. But 183, definitely want to hang on to that. Don't want to lose 183. Maybe 183.50 as that support level. Consider adding here.
Did you see how JTAI halted at the downside?
I did not. JUNS resumed and lower. Oh my God, this was nasty. And actually, now it's trying to bounce. Oh my, for heaven's sakes. How spread is this? Let me bring this up and let me see how spread this is, because I got a feeling that this is, oh my goodness. Actually, that was a 1 cent spread. It looks like it's spread out to 50 cents. This is all over the place.
Yeah, it's trying to recapture VWAP. I have that at 1288.
And slammed. And it's going to halt to the downside here. JUNS. All right. Interesting new IPO. I'm going to just let this do its thing. Right. I'm going to let this do its thing. I don't need to participate in any of these gaps and halts and all of that nonsense. But this might be one to keep on the watch list just to see if this becomes a regular trader for us. But oh my. Not great.
Maybe Cardiff does a thing later. I think I'm just going to stay away from this one. The volume just isn't there to get the resolution. So I think I'm just going to be happy with what I've done today. We had some pretty good trades. Yeah,
we did. We actually called some setups pretty good here. Chat was really doing it. Aura Alpha mentioning CDIO. Good stuff. Aura Alpha. This is a penny stock here, up 22%. You're somehow up 225%. Wow. Wow. Good stuff there on CDIO. Bonsai might be curling off the bottom? Question mark.
Oh, nice mention on UNFI. This trying to push through VWAP right now. A little bit of volume, and that'll do it.
UNFI.
You remember this one? Unified Natural Foods.
This is a vaguely
happy hour special from like 2021.
Wasn't that NAII, or did it change to this?
No, it was this one. It was UNFI.
Interesting.
Keep coming back around. It looks like CPIX is trying to turn around after having an awful morning. VWAP I have at that is 260. So that would be where I'd want it to go if I was trading it.
Okay.
Just waiting for gels to finish resolving that bear flag. I think if we do get that full resolution, it probably comes down to somewhere around 320. That would be my my estimation.
Let me bring that on screen. By the way, while we were doing that here, I actually added just a little bit to Google right here. So we'll see if that holds up here. Block trade on qubits. Wow. Producer. Oh, dude, producer is all over it today. $5 at the bid on that block trade. That's that big stick that you see here, QBTS. So far holding 5. VWAP there also at 5. Maybe a big buyer at VWAP. Good banner there, producer. Oh, I am so excited for what 2025 is going to bring. I woke up today in a good mood. Then we had the sound issues and my heart started to make its way up my esophagus, like into my throat here. And then we were able to solve it. And it looks like we might have bettered something. So it looks like adversity might lead to betterness. And I love when that happens.
Happy little accidents.
Hey, happy little accidents. Let's go.
It's looking at Rigetti. This is about to make a decision on whether or not it's going to break over 578 or just completely roll over.
Where's Deborah? Deborah, you ready? You were trading this earlier, Deborah. We might have that break right here.
Then we got CPI tomorrow. I wonder what that kind of price action we're going to get from the market with that.
Well, that's the main event in terms of the economic events for this week, right? So
that and PPI, that and PPI on Thursday. Absolutely.
Walter, I don't really know. I'm going to take a stab at this. Is the video working? Yes, but it's not 1080p. It's 720p. So maybe it's not as clear as it used to be. I'm sure our producers got this together in the midst of a catastrophe. So not all of the options are there. But I've been repairing my computer and I can't tell if it's my GPU. If you're getting a video signal, I think your GPU is okay.
AI, which is CXAI. Yep. This is at an interesting spot. 42 is a pretty interesting resistance level. If you look at the price action from yesterday, that was where it was suppressed the entire day, had a breakout over that, came right back in and stayed underneath it. We're about to push over that right now. We're trying to. I'd watch for a breakout 42 in AI.
Okay.
There's like a really good resistance level there.
Okay. Let's see if we end up getting that.
Well, sure. Okay, let me switch back over here to some of these other ones. What's up?
I'm just laughing at Aura Alpha. I appreciate trying to keep the dirty message clean. That those are some of the funniest messages. You have someone that knows that they're saying something that's dirty, but tries to keep it clean. Nonetheless, good piece of advice there. Risk reward, and actually, shout out because Christian was talking about that earlier and how that's a massive part of his system. Agree with you there on risk reward. Keep that in mind. The rest of it will follow. Yeah, A+ for crisis management for our producers. I agree with you, Tom. The hats off to our producers today. They were both. I think I woke one of them up too. but they both they both got it done here today. They both got it done here today. We expect nothing less from the best producers in the world. Just saying. Maybe I'm biased, but F it. ONDS, by the way, guys. I know a number of you folks are mentioning ONDS. I'm in this. I've been in this for a while. I'm in this pretty heavy. I'm down on it pretty heavy, but still like this long term. It's appearing on the relative volume scanner here today. Giddy up. Let's see if we can get back above $1. What else do I have here?
Here we go. AI. Trying to take out and hold over 42. Well, it just popped over it and came back in, but this is the move we're looking for. We're wanting to see AI push and hold and move away from 42 to the upside. But as I pointed out from yesterday's price action, this is a big resistance level. We need some volume to keep pushing it up higher. But so far, looking like the market wants it higher.
Okay, let's see if AI can roll.
What was all that?
What was all what?
I heard all kinds of little.
Yeah, like I said, I think there's people joining so we have an all access coming up here. I guess I'll just give you the story here. We have an all access coming up here in 6 minutes. And then we're going to come back for Anne Marie. So I think one of the things that we're hearing here is some of the new sounds of Restream here.
Good mention on CMRX. This is trying to come back up. It has recaptured VWAP. There might be some more juice left in this one. Looking around here. June's just continues lower.
June.
AI still trying to get over that 42. Gosh, that's a really big area for this stock.
Can we call this move here on JUNS the June swoon? Asking for a friend.
Sure, I'm not going to stop you.
Okay.
Gels might be nullifying the bear flag. Still trying to push up to the VWAP.
Aura. You guys are right. It is. It's that my prop account. See, new stream here. We don't have all of the channels figured out, but there we go. That was looking for some more there on Google. Boop.
Still not sure about Cardiff. Looks like it wants to take out that trend line, but it is starting to go sideways, and I don't want to see that.
Let me go back to that. Still waiting on this. I think you do get over your 42 here.
Well, I have no positions right now. I'm just letting the market do its thing. Gosh, it really is looking like we could fall out of that channel in Supermicro. Okay, CMRX, just continue to set up, I guess. That still might go higher. It's really the only one that looks interesting at the moment. Maybe gels, but a lot of work to do to get through VWAP. What else are we looking at? MSTR and CPIX. Okay, so Smoke Tuna saying CPIX. Let's see what that looks like.
CPIX does look like we kind of have an intraday double bottom here, so maybe there's a trade off that spot on CPI. We'll see.
Yeah, it was hitting a level, support level from the pre-market about 20 minutes ago. So maybe we do get a bounce here, and the MACD is indicating a bit of a curl. I want to see a little bit more movement towards. I want to see it get back over 440. There's a big wall at 450. I mean, if we get through that, then we'll be on our way to contending with VWAP.
MSTR here looking like we're going for yesterday's intraday lows. Watch that if it breaks here. GXAI going again.
Oh, buddy. Yep, new intraday highs, almost at 5. Now, yesterday we hit 550, so that's entirely possible today.
Yep, actually, we trade above it? It looks like we traded slightly above it. But
yeah, I'm sorry, 555. You're right.
Yeah, well, we could barely hold that 550 area, so I would imagine that would be on deck here again today.
Yeah, actually, you know what? There's no real body above 540. So maybe 540 could be a more of a level to watch for a breakout in GXAI. Good point. All right. Looking around here. What are you folks looking at? CMRX. Good, sir. So that's still trying to push up here.
CMRX.
Mm-hmm. This is the one that just recaptured VWAP and moved a little bit higher over 3. So looking to hold 3 and push further into that handle. GXAI with an intraday high of 495. Still wondering what we're going to get out of CRDF. That would be so cool to see that trend line break, though. A-Lab might be turning around.
Jay Rice's A-Lab.
Mm-hmm. So almost back up to VWAP. I have that at 123.60. QURE also trying to get back up to VWAP. This one very slow moving. Here we go with GXAI, that new intraday high, 510. Looking like 555 is going to happen here potentially.
Yep, sure does.
Soundhound with a nice reversal as well.
SXTP getting mentioned by several chat members here.
Oh, nice.
Okay, but it is time for our all access. So I think we're going to bring on Dan. There he is. Dan Leach, how you doing, boss?
Raw guy, listen, it's great to be with you as always. And I don't want to have to troll you about your Bears every week, but you're just making it easy. 4 yards, 4 total yards.
I'm actually not doing anything. You continue to bring it up.
Well, listen, I mean, I can't not bring it up. I mean, it would be, it gets regulations. Isn't that our rules?
No, it's definitely not. But so really quickly, Dan, there was a game a while ago against the 49ers. Cade McNown was the quarterback for the Bears, and they could not get across midfield the entire game.
Good old Cade McNown.
This game was worse. Somehow, that was worse.
Unbelievable. But listen, seeing you makes it all better. That's all. That's the bottom line.
Don't forget seeing me smile. We dealt with all kinds of issues today. Had a great day nonetheless, though, Dan.
Hey, the dream is alive. And I got a great guest coming up. It's my man, Harel Godot, the CEO and chairman of Microbot Medical. So we're going to have a lot of fun.
All right. Let's go ahead and do that. 13 and I are out. I'll be back with Anne-Marie right after. Take it away, Dan.
Hey, Ziggers, welcome to All Access. I've got a fantastic guest for you today. It's Harel Godot, the CEO and chairman of Microbot Medical. The NASDAQ ticker is MBOT. He's joining us for an exclusive talk today. All Access starts right now. And it is my pleasure to welcome in the CEO and chairman of Microbot Medical. It's Harel Godot. Great to be with you today.
Thank you, Dan. It's great to be here as well. Very excited to be here, especially after the exciting news this morning that we have submitted to the FDA for commercialization of the Liberty endovascular surgical system.
Yeah, very, very big news. We'll get into all of that. I just wanted you to give an overview of Microbot for those people out there that might not be familiar.
Sure, it's my pleasure. if we look into where we're playing into the robotic surgery in general, and specifically in the endovascular space within the healthcare. If we look in general into robotic surgery, it is one of the fastest growing trends in healthcare. For example, if you look at the penetration rate of robotic surgery in general surgery, it went from about 1.8% in 2012 to more than 17% currently, with a CAGR of 15%. And this is in a market that includes elective surgeries such as hernia repair. But when you consider the endovascular space, it accounts for more than 6 million endovascular procedures, which perform annually in the US alone. And most of them are life-saving treatments, which include cancer, for example, stroke, and vascular blockage. Moreover, some of these procedures are time sensitive. There is a phrase in the medical community saying time is brain, which refers to the very narrow window of opportunity that a patient suffering from stroke, for example, has until he or she get treated before suffering an unreversible brain damage. These procedures were historically done surgically. Think about, for example, when your fix is clogged. In the past, you'll break the wall in order to fix the sink, where today you can go through the pipes to get to the sink and unclog it. Just instead of the snake your plumber uses, physicians use delicate tools called guide wires and microcatheters to build a railroad from outside the body to treat the site inside the body. This market also has clear unmet needs, and that's where we're coming in and really changing the game. Those unmet needs include radiation exposure, physical strain on the operators, shortage of skilled providers, and accessibility to local medical centers. So think about the stroke person that now needs to travel 60, 100 miles where time is brain. We believe that many of these challenges can be solved by robotic technologies, yet there are no robotic solution in the endovascular space in the US. Therefore, we believe that introducing the right robotic technology to endovascular procedures can address many of those unmet needs and add value, such as improving efficiencies, reducing risk of radiation exposure for both the physician and the staff, and increase access to quality healthcare for all patients.
Now, it really is incredible. And you mentioned the jump up of the number of how many more people are getting that kind of surgery. It's unbelievable. And I know that that's obviously very exciting for what you guys are doing. And let's talk about that Liberty system, as you mentioned. What makes it so unique?
So as they say, a picture worth 1,000 words, right? So this is Liberty. That's it. It's a robotic system that fits in the palm of my hand. But Liberty is much more than just a small robotic system. It is the world's first fully disposable robotic system. By comparison, if we look at it, conventional robotic systems that are pretty much, I can describe them as an F-150 truck. If you go into the OR, that's what you will see there, right?
Right.
They require a large capital equipment system that usually costs somewhere between $1 to $2 million. This is upfront just to buy the robot. This is before you even tried it and see that it adds value to your specific patient population. Then on top of the capital expense, many of those robotic systems will require additional investment in customized infrastructure. It's always amazing me when I walk into the OR and I see this robotic system, but then I see all the walls that were moved around, all the IT infrastructure. It probably cost you the same for the infrastructure as buying the robot. And on top of that, you have to buy procedural kits, service, and maintenance. With Liberty, the hospital avoids all of these major costs, which we expect will significantly reduce the sales cycle, allow more medical centers to adopt robotic in their endovascular practice, and in return, enable access to improved care for more patients. In addition, Liberty allows physicians to steer those guide wires and catheters, if you remember the snake the plumber are using. So those very delicate guide wires and catheters now can be used by a remote control, which enables precise control of the guide wires and catheters, which are required to almost every endovascular procedure while operating at a safer distance away from the X-ray radiation source and improve ergonomics for the physicians. It is amazing to see how many physicians cannot operate because they have a herniated disc, for example.
No, it really does give you liberty in the greatest sense. And Ron, I wanted to ask you, why is medical robotics and specifically the endovascular segment an attractive market right now?
So we see all the big players playing in the space of robotics: J&J, Medtronic, Stryker, and the list goes on and on. So first of all, it is exciting to see that almost every strategic recognizes robotics as part of their current and future offering. In a way, it is a kosher stamp of the directions the market is taking when it comes to robotics. However, we really need to consider that the large strategics lack the core capabilities to innovate in robotics. They were not structured from the beginning as a robotic company. If you look historically, you look at Medtronic buying Mazor, you look at Stryker buying Meko, and the main reason is to get into the robotic space by acquiring the core capabilities, not just the technology.
Right.
And that's what they do to get the capabilities, expand their portfolio. We believe that with our first mover advantage into the peripheral space, in the endovascular space, which is right now, it's a completely blue ocean. There are no players playing in that space, so it's pretty much ripe to pick up by somebody. We will establish the required core capabilities and the market presence, and strategically, as we move forward in the future, expand into the other indications such as the neuro and cardiac endovascular procedures.
Yeah, you mentioned some of those large companies like Johnson & Johnson, Medtronic, GE, Stryker, looking to enter that, the surgical robotics market. How do you see Microbot truly fitting in there?
Our objective is to own a space that right now, as I mentioned, it's completely blue ocean. And by doing this, we're not only going to change the endovascular space. Think about the business model that we're changing. If today people saying my model is the razor and razor blade, we're actually only selling the blades. So we don't have the barrier of adoption that now you go and spend money on the razor itself. But also as we move forward and we look into the process in the hospital, how do we fit in? So our objective is to start with the peripheral intervention in endovascular on that space. And as we move into the following years, move into the cardiac and into the neuro. So this is a really exciting time for the company as we are transitioning right now from a clinical and regulatory focused company into a commercial focused company. With the news that we issued today about the submission of the 510K for the future commercialization of the Liberty system. For me personally, it's very exciting to see an idea that we brought from just inception all the way to the potential to treat more patients in the future. A couple of months ago, we successfully completed our pivotal human clinical trial, which coupled with other tests and studies allowed us to file the 510K. We will work closely with the FDA. Usually a 510K process takes somewhere between 4 to 6 months. So we expect to launch Liberty post the FDA clearance, which we expect in Q2 2025. We also anticipate sharing the data from our pivotal human clinical trial in one or two of the major conferences in 2025, such as SIR, Society of Interventional Radiology, or Society of Interventional Oncology. In parallel, we are currently establishing our commercial team to prepare for the launch with the aim to launch in the US immediately the FDA clearance. And we are also working with what they call the MDR in Europe. We already received our ISO approval or clearance. And moving with the MDR process, we expect to also get the CE mark approval going into 2026.
So as you mentioned, very exciting times for Microbot Medical right now. And you mentioned a bunch of things that are going to be they're planned for the next several months. When you kind of spin things forward, what's kind of the feeling of the future that you want to see for Microbot Medical?
So first thing first is being successful with the submission to the FDA. Obviously, we announced the successful completion of the clinical study, which give us a lot of comfort that we're providing something which is safe and going to benefit many patients moving forward. Next thing I would like to see is really the adoption of the market, showing the value added we bring to the table, not only for the physicians, the technologists, but to every stakeholder. And that's going to be a success if we can really allow access to patients that right now I live in Boston. Before that, I lived in New York City. So God forbid something happened to me, I have 5 minutes drive to get to the best healthcare I can get in the world.
Right.
But what happened if I'm traveling to mid-America? People saying South America, Far East. I'm just saying even Middle America. You get a stroke, you have a very window of opportunity to get treated. You have cancer, you don't want to drive 100 miles every time to get treated. Think about it. If we can really change the landscape and have accessibility to a technology that improves care, that's what excites us. That's where we see us moving in those steps of the clearance, getting adoption in the market, and eventually changing the way robotic systems in general are being adopted in the market.
Yeah, you're getting me really excited as well. And it looks like the future very bright for you, of course, at Microbot Medical. It was an absolute pleasure talking with you today, Harel. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate you having me here.
Hey, honor, pleasure, all mine. That was the CEO of Microbot Medical. Their ticker on the NASDAQ is MBOT. Really appreciate the conversation with Harel Gadot. Let's send it back to the great Ryan Faluda.
The great. All right. You know what, Dan? I'll take that.
I might troll you on the Bears, but I'm going to refer to you as you deserve, the great Ryan Faluda.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that. Really quick question here before we go to the next show. Are you going to do the same thing with the Pistons, because they've been horrific forever? And if they ever start to get better, are you going to start trolling other people about that too?
No, because as far as I'm concerned, the bad boys, they're still playing right now. So I'm not worried about Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. Let's go back to Lambeer, Isaiah, John Spider, Sally. That's all that matters right now.
You're preaching my language, because basketball stopped in Chicago when Jordan retired. Dan, good stuff here. I'll see you next time. All right, boss?
See you next time, my man.
All right. I'll tell you what, man. Dan is a lot of fun. Can't wait to talk more with him. Dan leaves room for the one and only Anne-Marie. Let's go ahead and bring her on. Anne-Marie, how you doing?
I'm well, only the lighting is like I'm in a cave. So sorry about that. It must be our new platform.
Okay, let me just tell you something, Anne-Marie. We were thrown, you're a baseball fan, so you can appreciate this. We were thrown several curveballs this morning. I started up here and nobody could hear me. So the whole reason we're on this new thing is because our producers, who are geniuses, scrambled just to make sure that we have a show today. I can assure you. No, is it raining there?
No.
Okay. So it sounds like we have a little audio static as well, but you sound crystal clear. So really awesome stuff. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about some different stocks here today. Yeah, how's the computer? Are we all fixed up?
I'm still waiting. So I'm on a backup. I'm on a backup system.
Okay. Can you share your screen?
I'm trying it right now.
Sorry. My bad. There it is.
Yeah. Okay.
There it is. We get these nice little sound effects with it too. Okay. Really good stuff. Now, really quick here. Anne-Marie, I am going to ask you to try and do this, but I will help you with this as well. One of the things with the new stream platform we have is it's not actually broadcasting in 1080p. So these numbers are going to be extremely difficult for the viewers to see. So let's make sure that we read them out. Even if we make it bigger, it might still be difficult. So I want to try and read them out whenever we can. Perfect. I can see them on my end, so I can actually help you with this. But if folks in the chat, if you guys cannot see any of the numbers that we are referring to, ask in the chat, and I will go ahead and answer that while Anne-Marie is going off. So, okay, got the administrative stuff out of the way.
Awesome.
We did have a couple of stocks here. We had one from yesterday. It was Netflix. I wanted to see if we could set up a trade here on Netflix. This thing has been a runaway freight train.
Yep. I think they're going to try and hit 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not even that far from 1,000.
No, we're not.
Okay.
We're not. Buying every pullback. So, you know what? Let's take a look at it. On the weekly chart, we can see that we have an ATR that's almost 45. And so we got $45 average move on the week. Pullbacks have been buy zones since, oh my word, since we broke 400. We've had very shallow pullbacks. And so are we due for a bigger pullback? Yes. But could we also move very far to the north also. Yes. And so this is a perfect place for a double butterfly. Let's see if we could get one cheaply.
Okay.
And let's shoot for January. Now, here's the thing. If it runs into the Santa Claus rally and hits our middle strike, we'll probably need to get out because January can be a little bit wonky. And so my thought is let's leave it in January. It's got the most volume and wow, not a ton. That's very interesting. There is not a lot of volume there. 13,000 calls, 5,000 puts. Let's see what. Oh yeah, there's nothing in the weeklies.
Yeah, part of me wonders if because there's still 10 days left in December and the contracts are maybe they're trading the December expiry.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, volume looks bigger here in the December contract.
Absolutely.
So you're right about that, Anne-Marie. Wow.
Yeah, and it's still fairly light. It's still fairly light. What is their next earnings date?
Let me pull that up here for you.
got it.
Okay.
I got it. It's well, 123. Okay. Whoa. So, if we choose January, then it's going to expire before earnings.
Yeah, interesting.
Let's see what they've got. The 24th is right on the day. Let's see what February is doing. And that's really far away. Yeah, there's not a lot of volume sitting in here. Let's just go ahead.
I was going to say, that makes me wonder if maybe that January contract isn't being traded as much because it does not capture the earnings print. But you know what? Just kind of looking at I clicked on the wrong thing here. Yeah, no, you're right. They're both kind of light there. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's look at the light action. They are looking at 800 is where most of the contracts are sitting. 800. Let's see if that matches. 800 is a breakout zone between the weeks of November 11th and November 18th. So that's okay. 800 to 790 to 780. Okay, so that looks like it's pricing in at maybe a penny. It's showing even right now, so that's really great. You could try to get it for a penny. So what we have are the January 17/25 expiration of 800, 790, 780 butterfly. So that's a 1 by 2 by 1. And it looks like you could get it maybe for a penny or even a nickel. Okay, so that looks good. So if we are, we're going $100 to the south, $115 to the south. If we go $115 to the north, it'll give us, 1,000 is where everybody's buying that. So let's see. Those look pretty cheap.
I was going to say, this actually does look pretty cheap on both of those legs there. It looks like you can get them for under 50 cents for both legs. Under
oh my gosh.
Cents,
yeah. 35 cents.
Wow.
Literally. Yeah. So I actually like this one so well. I'm going to take a snapshot of it.
All right.
So, yeah, this one looks pretty good. Now, again, don't bet the farm here because butterflies can be finicky, and because they have such a high reward event, they are going to have a high risk event attached to them as well. But that looks absolutely fantastic. I like that.
Now, Emery, let me ask you something. Because we are not incorporating the actual earnings print here, this almost is going to feel like a trade into earnings. Is there any type of triage that we would do to this position, or is this one of these where, you know what, if we get the movement, we just sell the whole butterfly and we go from there?
Yes, you are correct. If we sell the butterfly, we'll go from here. So here's another trade you can take that gives me just what I want. I want to collect at least 20%. This is a short iron condor. It's based on theta erosion and time decay. And since it's before the earnings, let's say we get nothing but sideways chop, 995. We sell the 995 calls, we buy the 1000s. We sell the 800 puts, we buy the 795s. And so notice you can't take both of these in the same week because the butterfly puts are buying the 800s. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, what if I do, what if I say I want to sell the 805? Excuse me. Operator error here. What if I sell the 810s and I buy the 805s? Hey-hoo. Mouse going crazy. 805s. That gives me the opportunity to take the put butterfly and the iron condor. And if we did the same thing for Netflix, we could sell the 990s and we could buy the 995s. And so that's almost the same price, very interestingly. And so what we can do is actually take both of these trades. And that way, if it does nothing, we're still going to make money because we've collected the credit.
That's pretty good. And then again, those butterflies are so cheap. It looks like those have adjusted downward again here. So, okay, I really like this. And you know what? We had a really good suggestion here, just because the quality of the stream is not like it normally is here. Maybe we can throw these screenshots in the Benzinga Pro chat room for the Benzinga Pro members.
Absolutely.
It'll be so much easier to read. That's
yes, I'll do it.
That's perfect.
I will definitely do it.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Okay. I do have some other stocks that we can take a look at.
Let's do it.
Okay, I was thinking Oracle because they just reported earnings, ORCL. And then the other one, if you want, we can also take a look at Mongo database, ticker MDB.
Yeah, are they going to report or they already reported?
Both of these reported yesterday already. So the earnings events is out of the way. The thing with Oracle is that we're holding down here. The craziest thing was with MDB, we were all over the place. We were actually higher by 40 points in the after hours yesterday, and today we're lower by 46 points. We have almost $100 range in less than 24 hours on MDB. So both earnings events are out of the way, but I think these might be plays here.
All right, let's take a look at a potential iron condor here. Whoa, look at that. That looks like a pretty fair. I think buyers are going to come in it looks like buyers might want to come in here somewhere around the 170 area, but I think 160 is a fair area for an iron condor event. And then, all right, so let's do a couple of things. Let's anticipate, one, that this thing collides with resistance and it continues down. And so we have kind of a cheap butterfly here in a 1x3x2. That's 170 to 160 to 155. And that's about 50 cents if this happens to move down into the support region. Okay, so that's the first one. If it bounces, let's see. let's see, 190. Let's go 190. Hello, there you are. 190 to 180 to 185. And we want to buy that butterfly.
Okay.
I don't know why it's saying 1 by 3 by 2. Oh, sorry. Yeah. If we buy that butterfly, oh, that's a call. Sorry. 190 to 200 to 205. So the call side, if it recovers into the Santa Claus rally, that's going to give us a double butterfly in this space. If it continues down, let's see what it is for January. Whoa. Oh, sorry. This one was all weird on me. And then this one, we want to look at January. It's not traded. So this one goes to 210. Well, we can't do that one if we do it in January. If we do it in December, it's 22 cents. And yeah, these are kind of expensive for continuation down because we're so close to the actual price. If you think it's going to go further down, then you might want to spend some extra cash doing that, but that's how that looks. I don't love it. So let's take a look at potentially an iron condor that says it keeps in the space. That doesn't give us enough credit either. So in terms of the overall market space, I think these are fairly priced. Here's something super interesting. There are 13,000 contracts sitting at 160. And today's volume, it's got 605.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think we lost Anne-Marie, folks. Yep. I think we lost Anne-Marie. Sorry about that.
I don't know where I went.
It's okay. Look, I think we're struggling with tech issues today. None of it is your fault. No big deal. You're able to come right back here, though.
Okay, cool. So let's take a look at MDB.
Okay.
Wow. What a range.
I know.
Now,
I was just going to say the other thing that's really kind of got me watching this right now, Anne-Marie, is that not only is this range crazy, but we're actually only like 4 points away from the 200-day. So we traded all the way down to that 200-day. Got to think the stock might bounce there, but we'll see. What say you here on MDB?
Okay, so if we draw a box, this is clear resistance. So we're going to have buyers trying to hold the 300 area. All right. That seems very clear. If they hold it, the size of the box is about 40 points. Let's see how far to the upside they went. Broke it, couldn't hold it. Broke it, couldn't hold it. Let's do it again to see how they did in that move. Okay, they went up to the halfway marker at 360 and could not hold it. So there is a calculated bet here that you can trade a short put spread. You could do an iron condor here. If you wanted to take a look at the move back up, let's say half the size of this edge. Wait, what had these traders done when the price action moved during earnings? Okay, this one here gapped up, gave it back in a month. Let's look at the weeklies. ran up, gave half of it back, went down, recaptured all of it, went up, gave half of it back,
Mm-hmm.
went down, and then gave it all back, went down, went into resistance, down, and then recapturing. So the big picture says that the range between 350 and 200, or maybe 210, is where these traders are trying to look for value. So we're above some moving averages. Dip buying is fair. Let's see 320. Let's see if we can do one side of this butterfly. And let's just forget about these. Hang on, let me move my ring light so I can see what's going on here. No and no. So let's see if we got to 320 and then 330. 23 cents for the upside shot.
Oh, yeah.
Into 320. Now, here's the great thing. If we come into this space and it gets up over 320 and it starts getting 323, 324, and it starts getting very wonky, moving back and forth, you got to cover it because it is very likely to reject that area if it's not going to move up further in a quick strike. And you can see I probably put this one in for maybe 35 cents and see if it fills, and just leave it in the queue.
Okay.
Just leave it in the queue. Don't rush to position here because you can see the price action's going all over the place. It was 85 cents and now it's 25 cents, 15 cents. Just put it in there cheap and let them work the order. Let them see what goes on because we could get it a lot cheaper than that. A lot cheaper than that. So let me see what the ATR is. $35. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I'll be honest. I love this trade. I'm probably going to take this one myself. Honestly, we'll see what I get filled at, to your point about throwing that order out there. But I love the way that you set this up. I think this is good.
Yeah. So when we're thinking about those probabilities, and I want to snap it where we get just, it's messing around. Yeah. So a bounce is very likely. Now let's talk about the probabilities of this sort of thing and why I like the bounce zone. 1, it's a big fat round number. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. It tested this 300 zone. And if you're saying that it's right at the 200, I mean, that's a good buy zone. And if you're staring down something, it's got good upside.
It's crazy because the boxes that you've drawn here are spot on. I have that actual 200-day value, Anne-Marie, at $299.59.
Yeah.
Like it is not even 50 cents beneath that 300 level. I love a bounce from this area. Giddy up. That's really great.
Absolutely. Let's see what we got going on here. Now, Google is having a fairly good day. NVIDIA is not, and T-Mobile. So they're moving into communication services a fair bit. Tesla's on the run up. We could look at Tesla.
Okay. Now, real quickly here, I don't know if this is going to matter for the trade here. Sure. Google does have a pretty big news item today that popped it to this level that it's in. So Let's look. Alphabet shares are trading higher following the unveiling of Google's quantum computing chip. So I don't know if that helps. If that helps, maybe a thesis for the trade here, but that's what's going on. That's why Google's up 3.8% here today.
Okay, so perfect. Let's take a look. We've got selling tails here. We have a selling tail here, a selling tail here, and the big spike up is also presenting a little bit of a selling tail. Here's the thing. This was the gap it was in. That was the heavy congestion. It came down into the 50% marker. And so let's ride the box up. That's 100% thereabouts. And then let's do it again. Wow, the market is selling off. All right, so it moved up 3x from the base here, right at the top of the range into 188. If they break out here, I think they try to test 200. Here's my concern. As we move to the upside, we're really not seeing a big drift of momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And so I suspect that what we might have here is a stall. And that stall could stop at the first area of congestion at about 188. So we have two choices. We could say, yes, I'm going to position for an updraft. Or you can say, yes, I'm positioning for a push back into an old area of heavy congestion near 175. So let's take a look at it. Again, I would say January.
Okay.
And I would go 195, 205, but I would do a 1/3/2 here. Now, why? Well, my gut says it's not going to break 205.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Simply because of all the topping formations. I want to make it so that nothing gets spent other than what we spend. So there's no margin required here in a 1/3/2. And so this looks pretty good to me. Now, it's more expensive simply because we are so close to the actual price, right? We're only about $10 or $12 away. Normally, we do more of an expansion event. So the put side, let's see where 200, there's 12,000 here in volume on the call side. So they are pretty enthusiastic. If it breaches us, we're still golden. Even if these guys end up in the money, we're awesome, right? So we've got $1,000 of upside for about a $78 event. For the downside, we're going to look at, they are positioned at 160. So if we went, if we went 170, yeah, they're not going to give us enough. 160, 1/3/2. So for about $1.20 or so, we get to position for a potential $1,000 upside in profit, no matter which way it goes. And since it's in all the way in January, we could swish around here for a little bit and it still works well. I expect price action to fade, but that's just because I have the sense that it's time to be a little bit more what's the word? A little bit more cautious about what we're going to be doing with our prices. So I'll take a snapshot of this one also. But I mean, if the news is great, then it's good. But remember, Google has all kinds of other things going on. So, you know, it could fade fairly dramatically. You could even do, you know, a 1x4x3, but you would need a little bit of margin there. You'd need $500 of margin for each one of them that you did.
Okay. Okay, really good stuff here. And as you were mentioning, NASDAQ did kind of reverse here intraday and is selling and it's moving lower. So to your point about maybe putting some of these bids out here, this is a tech name. So maybe if you put those bids out there a little bit lower, maybe you do get filled here and then we get that action.
Especially on the call side, because I think we're due for a pretty nice dip. The market gamma levels have really told us, listen, we've tested the put wall 2 days in a row, so maybe we test it a third time and we start giving up a little bit of the gains.
Okay. All right. Anne-Marie, really good stuff here today. Look, I cannot thank you enough for helping us out here. A day when we have surprise technical problems. You're always reliable for us. Really appreciate it. Good news here. We did upgrade the stream, so the quality of everything will be better the next time we're together. Let's meet outside, and we'll make sure your microphone and everything else like that is all set up. So, Anne-Marie, thanks so much for everything here today. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, all right?
My pleasure. You also. Thanks for joining, everyone. And I'll put these inside of the Benzinga Pro platform in the Benzinga Pro chat.
Okay, perfect. And real quick, just I'm going to give you guys a pro tip here. If you're not a pro member yet and you want access to these trades that Anne-Marie has given, you can start a trial today. I'm just throwing it out there as a potential. Anyway, Anne-Marie, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day, okay?
You too.
All right, folks, that is it here for today. I just want to send a special thank you to everybody that is out there, everyone that stuck around. I know we had some technical issues here today, but you folks stuck around. We made it work. And the good news here is that we are likely going to be able to put more cool stuff on stream because it looks like we found something here. So as you can see, we've got the chat in the stream now as well. We got all types of cool stuff that we can do. So thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for supporting us here. We'll be back tomorrow in better quality. Stay green, stay safe, and we'll see you.